What is going on, Warband? Good evening. This is Sir Yeetus, and I'm here to give you episode 95 of Yeetus' Thoughts. And I know I touched on this topic a few months ago, but I feel we need to go back there again in detail because I believe I wasn't specific enough, and pretty much the co-host Gray is going to help me break it down. Also, fun fact, I'm sure you guys already noticed, today I've been monetized. Honestly, I didn't even expect to be monetized based on the, content that we create here, but hey, YouTube was like, fuck it. So now it's a lot easier for you guys to give donations. You don't have to go through all these PayPal or Cash App. You can still do it if you want, but now the people can just super chat on the spot and not have to worry about going to third party sites and all that stuff. So nice. Very good. And before we begin, I'm going to read my first super chats. Once again, I still can't believe I got monetized. All right. My very first one, Island Hermit, $20. Hell yeah, finally monetized, brother. Good stuff. Warband for life. You goddamn right. Warband for life. And thank you for being my very first super chat. You made history, my friend. Channel 50 New Zealand shekels. Likes up, Brutas. Hey, give it a like if you like my content. Don't give it a like. It's up to you guys. That means I have to work harder. D-Man, $5. Right on, Yeet. Warband. Goddamn right. I see everybody else is here. Mr. Wick, Rio, GG2, McDonald, Edo, Young Buddha. What's going on, Young Buddha? Just some random guy. Indie MGTOW. Sigma. Oh, Thorin. Mr. Pliskin. What's going on, Mr. Pliskin? What's going on? Seeing all the familiar faces. Ton loves her. Blair Coaster. Yeah, got the usual. I love it. I love that you guys are still here, rock with me till this day, all this time. Almost a year, actually. Time moves by fast. I didn't even know I've been doing this for this long. It's crazy. But guess what? The Warband, the grind doesn't stop. It never stops. Rio Blaze Zizo with the $5 super chat. What's going on, man? Sirius with the upgrade. Rise Warband. Yes. Yes, rise. And we're going to continue to rise. It's too easy. And Mr. Pliskin, once again, with the $20. Take my money. Mr. Pliskin, you are very generous. You've been generous literally the entire time you've been subscribed to me. Thank you very much, man. You definitely believe in the Warband's work. Hey, Nixon Talks, what's going on, man? Skeleton heads. What's going on, Alex King? What's going on? Evening, Sir Yeetus. The Warband will always live on. Always. Even when we're not here anymore. The Warband philosophy moves forward. Just a random guy. How dare you? No, you don't say how dare you. I say how dare you. You can't do that to me. Where's I saw Rishi. Hold up. Super chat check. I gotta make up some cool name or whatever. But we are now gonna start the topic for today. But before I do, I'm gonna add, of course, pretty much our co-host, Gray. What's going on, Gray?
Good evening, Warband. Holy shit! Who bribed Susan? Jesus.
Hey, come on! It ain't even gotta be like that. It ain't even gotta be like that, okay? I know Susan's still looking. She's just like reeling me in, like with the bait. Like, gotcha. Oh man, but see, look, you got you got some fans in the chat.
That's it. Damn.
Hey, you give out very good insight into the topics. I don't go that far. You go far. What's your famous saying again?
We need to go deeper. Bwong.
I can take it a step further or something like that.
I can take it a step further. I haven't made an official catchphrase yet. Try to avoid being too repetitive.
You gotta put it on a t-shirt. Might as well go the clothing route. Might as well monetize off of that too. But to start the topic for today, survival, right?
Yes.
In the basic sense, men and women need to do what they have to do in order to survive, right? In the most scientific biological sense, we are just trying to get as much kids as possible to go to the next generation, spread our DNA, spread our seed.
Well, quite frankly, if you didn't have a lot of successful children, your genes didn't get passed on. Period.
Pretty much. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure it was only around, which is where the 80-20 rule comes in. You know, around 20% of men throughout history was able to procreate, 20 or 30%, something like that.
Something like that. Definitely less than 50%.
Yeah, definitely less than 50. No, majority of men throughout history were unsuccessful, and in 2022, it is in a dire situation right now. Thanks, feminism. But these days, women believe that they're equal to men in every aspect of life, including survival. They really believe that if They were dropped in the woods out of nowhere, like on some magical, hey, I'm gonna teleport you to the Amazon, zing, and they end up in the Amazon. They really believe that they're able to go out and about and survive like men. And I'm sure you saw the Bear Grylls show, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Survival, men versus women, or the island, something like that. Yeah, God,
Yeah,
yeah. Freaking 3 days to find water, to find the coastline on an island. I mean, all you have to do is walk in a straight line.
that's it. I don't know how they were able to make a. I don't know how they made a circle. I'm like, are you serious?
Well, that's the thing.
You
It's the
just keep
woods.
walking.
Like if you're in the woods without a clear like point to continuously move towards, it's very easy to get turned just a little bit this way or that way, and then
I,
you end
I
up going in a circle.
I agree, but at the same time, like you said, if you're on an island, the only common sense is, well, keep walking. Just the same general direction. Keep walking, because there's a dead end somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. As at least in my logical sense, I still don't know how they went into a circle, because there's no way I'm gonna get lost in the woods on an island. Because once again, at any point you will reach the ocean.
Unless you walk
That-
in a circle.
which see. That's why I try my best to not understand their logic, but somehow they still walked in a circle.
Well,
Like,
no, well, that is actually something that is given out as general advice. Like one big thing is if you do find yourself lost in the woods, the first thing you do is move towards the nearest sound of running water and follow the running water. Because if you do just try to head off on your own, it is very easy to start wandering in a circle, especially if you don't have a clear line of sight to the sky. You'll lose all sense of direction.
I see what you're saying. If it was like a big forest, like Amazon forest, sure, I see that. But on the island, it still boggles my mind, though.
It was big enough it took a couple hours of walking in one direction to get to the coast.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. But they were that close to the edge, and then somehow, yeah, let's go in a circle, guys.
Yeah.
But I do see what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, part of it too, I'm willing to bet, is the terrain. Because if you're walking and you're not absolutely determined to go in one direction, then if you hit like a gully or you run into like a hill that you need to climb, you might choose, you know what, I'll just go around and follow along the edge of it.
I definitely agree. I agree. But you've have noticed lately that women believe that they're equal to men in all aspects of life, even though it's been proven time and time again, men and women are different in various ways on how we operate. That's why the best possible way to survive and work together is interdependency. Work together to survive. But when it comes to solely survival, not reproduction, survival, we don't need women for survival.
Honestly,
like they need us.
Well, the problem, it's not even that we don't need them for survival. If it wasn't for reproduction, they're just dead weight and an extra mouth. They actually make it harder to survive.
Yeah, that's why, Mother Nature or whoever, evolution did. They know that they had to instill that strong, almost unbearable biological urge in men to even tolerate women on a daily basis to get that puniti. Because I agree, without that, things would have got a little bit crazy like hundreds of years ago.
Like, actually, reminds me, you ever hear of the story or read the book A Boy and His Dog?
I heard of it, but I forgot the story.
All right, so it's a post-apocalyptic story where there's a boy and his psychic talking dog, and they go on a number of adventures. and along the way they meet a girl. And then at the very end, like they're really hard up for food, and the girl turns to the guy and says, "We got to eat the dog." Now, who do you think was eating who at the end of the story?
The dog and the boy was eating the girl
Absolutely.
because ain't no way, and at least in a survival sense, in my opinion, dogs are more reliable.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we work with dogs because they can keep up with us as we hunt stuff down.
Right.
Like in a purely survival situation, a dog is infinitely more useful than a human female.
Yep, and I definitely agree. But it's just the audacity that, once again, it's a delusion kicking in that modern women are like, "Hey, we can survive without you. Hey, we don't need you." I'm like, ho ho ho, no. In fact, deep down you do need us. That's why you hate us or resent us.
Yeah, and if women truly thought they were equal to men, they wouldn't have fled Ukraine.
Exactly. If you honestly thought that you didn't need men to live your comfortable, suitable lives, you wouldn't even be around us. It will literally be a gigantic wall between men and women. But you know deep down that you need men, and that's why you resent us as a whole. Because no matter what you do, you know you can't get rid of us like you want to. Because in the end, if men in mass say fuck this, you know you're in big trouble. And these women knows this.
Now, it's actually funny. You put up a poll earlier that discussed Captain America Civil War briefly as one of the options for the future.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting that, okay, they resent us because, well, we're better than them objectively from a survival standpoint. Correct?
Correct.
But then you look at the Marvel universe and they have the Mutant Registration Act, which then turned into the Superhero Registration Act that became the foundation for the Civil War, correct?
Correct.
Isn't that kind of a similar deal? The normal humans hating and resenting the metahumans simply because, like, if the metahumans decide to screw with the normal humans are fucked.
Yeah, pretty much. I agree. I agree 1,000,000%. It's very similar to real life. Very similar. They resent these metahumans until they need those metahumans to be protected. Oh, come save us. I wouldn't be like, nah, I'm good.
Well, what's funny is then you got that X-Men movie where humans are like, you know what? We'll take this captured metahuman and make a bunch of anti-mutant make some anti-mutant plastic guns.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But George Lopez, $5. Long live the Warband. Long live Master Rishi.
Hey, dude, it's $5.
I know, but you know, he already created his own cult within like 2 weeks, so it's very impressive actually. I'm not even mad. I'm just surprised how far I went. Once I heard Nixon talk said shrooms lives matter, I'm like, oh my god, what have you done? Watch, eventually I'm gonna hear the president say that. Like, what the fuck? We must care about these mushrooms. I remember when I had mushrooms in my college dorm days.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I do like these Vietnamese girl. Like, what?
No, the funny thing is we could actually make it sound like it's like a pro mushroom as an alternative to meat thing. We could absolutely get Shroom Lives Matter trending if we got the right people to say it and not understand the real context.
Cause I'm charismatic. Nah, you a dictator. Give me back my wrench. Give it back. Who are you to take away my wrench?
Oh my god! Like, seriously, could you imagine fucking like grocery stores and pizza places all having Shroom Lives Matter promotionals with mushroom themed foods because like this fucking fake meat shit ain't taken off. like introducing the more the new portobello mushroom at McDonald's. Hashtag Shroom Lives Matter.
I would not know what to do at that point, honestly. I would not know. Like, what kind of it's going to be one of those secret societies eventually. I can definitely see that. People walking around with hats shaped as mushrooms. Like what?
Yeah.
But back on topic, right? Because we went way off topic. Um, they can't comprehend, and I'm talking about modern women, that men need women for reproduction, and that's it. Women need men for reproduction and survival. It's so simple. It's not even funny, but since modern women live in their own uh, little world, their delusional Disney utopia, they can't look outside of their own bubble and actually look at reality for what it is. That's where that Bear Grylls show comes in.
I actually makes me wonder how abstract is a woman capable of thinking?
Um,
Could you actually say to a woman, "Hey, imagine a world in which the government doesn't exist." Right? And do you think they could actually do that?
they can. If they do, like the outsiders, like the one or two that can do it, they won't admit it.
Yeah.
Because you saw that one video where a guy, if you remember the video, asked this girl like, "Okay, so what are women better at than men? Then what are men are better at than women?" And then she literally broke down crying when he said that men are stronger than women. She couldn't comprehend. She was distraught, confused. Like, what? This can't be.
I
What?
think it. Oh, yeah,
What?
no, I think I remember another one was like a race where it was this somewhat fit woman who like thought that, okay, you know what, I'll have a race with this guy. Like, it'll be kind of fun. And when the guy was just left her in the dust easily, she was dumbfounded. Like, even if they acknowledge, okay, men are stronger than women on average, they don't get the degree of strength that the difference makes.
They don't. They don't at all. Like they are, and I will blame uh the brainwashing camps such as college, the feminist camps. They play a big part on women not accepting reality. But overall, I really don't believe that modern women these days can actually say, "Oh, damn! If society does collapse, who is going to protect me? Who's gonna attack me? Oh my God! I'll be on my own. Everybody for themselves. I'm not strong enough. I can't outrun these guys or outpower them.
Well,
Oh
it's not
no!
honestly, it's not even that they have to wait till college. Like, I've seen a whole bunch of scenes from cartoons that in hindsight are portraying women as equally as strong, if not stronger, than their male counterparts. It's like, huh.
Yeah, I've seen that all the time growing up, but I threw my hands in the air. And I gave up at that point where the I saw the Batwoman trailer. I was like, I give up. I give up. Like the most corniest feminist lines being said, and the men that were associating with her was weak, frail, effeminate, shy, no confidence at all. They're just smart or an idiot, right? Those smart, skinny guys with the glasses, like, oh yeah, you could do this. I'll help you out. They would talk about a computer. Or the guys are just idiots. That's how they're portraying men. On top of that, when she in the trailer when she was taking down those big ass mans with just her hands only, like, do you know how? Who's the first actor that was playing Batwoman?
Ruby
Uh
Rose.
yeah, I'm like, how Ruby Rose is not that big. at all.
Yeah.
How is she taking these two big guys at once with just her hands only? That's why I threw up my hands. I was like, screw it. This is so dumb.
Like, I'm sorry, you're not a 200-year-old Chinese martial art grandmaster that can do absolutely stupid bullshit. It's like, no, you are a fucking 20-something-year-old woman who didn't get fat. That does not make up for the weight class difference. Or like what? I mean, shit, like those guys would be what, heavyweight, and she'd be lucky to qualify as a featherweight.
Like, yeah, I'll say featherweight. Hell, I'll even try to go even lower than that.
That's the thing. That's like 3 weight classes of difference.
It's just see, okay. It would be more understandable if she was using a bunch of her back gadgets to disarray or incapacitate the men, to sneak a punch in or something. Okay, understandable. But she was literally going in head on, taking these two big men at once. And somehow these big men are like, oh no, she's throwing me over her shoulder. How? Impossible. Like, yo, all he has to do is grab her leg and yeet her out the window. That's it. Like, oh Lord. Like, I was like, I can't anymore. They're not even trying to hide it. That they're trying to portray men as weak and women as this superpower. Every woman is a Wonder Woman in every show.
Oh god, yeah, that's the other thing. Like, people look at Wonder Woman and they forget that she's literally a demigod. She is not a human.
I agree. She's not at all. Like,
Like, it's like
she's
seeing
above the
fucking,
rest.
it's like seeing fucking Superman yeet a car and going like, oh, that looks like a human throwing a car. I guess that all men can throw cars. Like, no, dude's a fucking alien that can like crush a goddamn cue ball between his pinky and freaking thumb.
But for some reason, he's weak against green rocks. I put that out there. But I saw this comment. Where is it? Francisco. But Yeetus, technique is everything. LMAO. They love to say that. Not everything's about strength and speed. I'm like, it is 90% of everything. Technique will only go so far. I can't go up to with my size. I'll go and take on like what? What's a big Tyson Fury?
No clue.
Talking about, hey, I know the ways of wrestling. I can take you on right now. He'd be like, what the fuck? Who is this little man? Like, like who is this? Why are you talking? Where's your parents? Like literally, that's what Tyson Fury would have done to me. And even I could be the best wrestler, like, yeah, I can throw you. I got ground control, blah, blah, blah. Reach. My reach ain't that long enough to even handle Tyson Fury in the first place. Like, he will literally be like, yo, I'm gonna just punch you now, and then bam, I'm dead. Literally, one hit, bah! Broke my neck, jaw, everything. Just gone. That is way more like it's crazy how. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go into this. Do you know these institutions, these taekwondo or karate schools that are just straight up bullshit? They just want to take your money and give you your black belt within a year.
Yeah. So I'm actually trying to find a clip that represents this shit just perfectly.
Yeah, like once these women get a taste of training, they really believe that they can take on the biggest man. I'm like, lady, if you don't get the, because if I try to take on Tyson Fury in a boxing match, that's literally how it is. That's literally how it is when it comes to a woman. Most men can take on all women. Would you agree?
Let's see. Most, yeah.
The average man can take on all women, or except for of course, the exceptions. Yeah.
Let's say the bottom 95% of women.
Yeah, we'll say that. Of course, there's freaking natures. I'm not saying in a bad way that there's women that are.
Like there's highly exceptional women. I've seen some clip of like the really advanced female Chinese martial artists, and I'd put my money on them over an untrained man.
Yeah, definitely. Because you can have all the training and techniques, and I know 200 moves. You can't do shit if he's already pinning you down with his strength alone. Like, quit being goddamn delusional. You you never been in a real fight in your life, haven't you? Like
No,
literally.
well, no, and that's the thing. Like the other thing is that okay, they might have a ton of training, but they're also going to rely on not getting hit and not getting grabbed because it doesn't really matter how much training you have. If you take a punch from someone with increased bone density and muscle mass and you take it wrong, you're still fucked.
I agree. There's reasons why men, all men, or let's say most men in general, has an underlying respect and understanding that maybe I shouldn't wild out like all these females think that they can get away with it. Well, they can get away with it because, like what Bill Burr said, it's socially unacceptable to kick the shit out of her.
But yeah, I got to play this clip here. It's like this is like what women think they should be able to do with some martial arts training.
Oh, nope, take it off.
No,
Nope, they did not like that last time. They did not
no,
like that.
they don't like playing clips.
Nope, nope, no, 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 no,
Ah,
nope.
damn.
My last live stream where Rishi was in, that he played an anime, completely took down my live stream.
All right, well then I'll just pop a link at that time in the chat, and the chat can take a
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at it.
put it in the chat. But I'm gonna read channels $10 New Zealand dollars. They must keep up the pretense of equal strength. And this is why these transformer athletes are under the gun. And this is what society gets stuck between a rock and a hard place. See, they're always trying to please everybody. Reality knows that you can't please everybody. Somebody's just going to have to be quiet and take it. Be quiet and deal with it, because that's life. What's the number one rule of life, Gray?
There's a lot of rules. Which one
Well,
specifically?
the main rule that everybody, well, not feminists, but all men should understand: life is not fair.
Oh yes,
It's not
life is
fair.
no.
Let me read these comments real quick. Tyson is definitely a big guy. That's what I'm saying.
It's funny. There was actually in response to the life was not fair. Someone once responded, "Well, there's a proverb from Native American women saying, if life is not fair, then you should make it fair." To which I would respond, "Yeah, and that's how they had 10,000 years of civilization and didn't get beyond mud huts."
Exactly. Life doesn't give a life doesn't give a damn about your feelings. It doesn't. No. Who who are you compared to this cosmic universe? Whatever happens, it happens. And right now, on biological terms, I can literally end you if I wanted to. But we don't, because we know we can end you. Like,
And part of the other thing is there's this kind of monopoly of power held by people who are invested in your survival. Like, because it doesn't matter. Okay, we're bigger, we're stronger. It's like, oh yeah, well, the cops have a lot of guns and they're highly organized and they're specifically trained to deal with this kind of shit.
exactly. And lying to MGTOW, what's going on, man? I didn't have to really take martial arts because I didn't need it. No, if you are a big enough guy, and I know Lion MGTOW is a big guy, you technically don't really need martial arts. You can't, you can do it if you want to, but literally majority of the population one on one can't beat you.
Not without a weapon, at least.
Yeah, not without a weapon. Yeah, but like one on one, mano a mano, no weapons, just bare fists. Majority of the population, I could say I guaranteed cannot be Lion McTow. Majority of the population, or
Well, to be fair,
many people in the population, can't be Hammerhand. Hammerhand's a big dude. He's 6'5". He's a big dude, and who knows what he did when he was younger.
I think Hammerhand mentioned that he could basically lift the world record, or like, sorry, I think like a portion of the world record weightlifting limit for women with just his fingertips. His grip strength alone is comparable to a woman's top power.
Oh yeah, it does. I agree. I blanked out for a second. My bad. Um, I was reading this. Somebody said something. Do. See, most big guys can't fight if you're talking about technique and stuff. Yeah, sure, but that's the thing. They technically, for the most part, they don't need to know boxing or wrestling stuff. Because who, on average, on the street knows boxing and wrestling and all these crazy moves?
Well, and even beyond that, like if you've got a guy who's a head taller than you, his arm reach is going to be longer than you.
And his strength is ridiculous depending on if he goes to the gym or not.
Yeah, like if he just keeps himself in a moderate level of strength, nothing intense, just decent shape. I mean, come on, if you've ever like tried to fight someone when you were a kid who had a couple grades on you and they could basically just put out one arm, hold you back, and that was it. You couldn't do shit.
Well, that was just my older brother.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like
Yeah,
I was the oldest brother, so I had to go up against bigger kids to get that kind of experience. But yeah, like at a certain difference, it is basically going up against an older sibling. Like they only let you get to a point where you can hurt them if they allow you.
exactly. Or they get caught off guard.
Yeah. And well, and again, like that's very much the difference between men and women there, except now your older brother's also been taking steroids for a couple decades.
True. Pretty much. Pretty much. And let me read this real quick. Sorry, don't agree. I whoop his ass. No offense. I don't know if you're talking. Who was I talking about? Oh yeah, the example, like the big 6 foot guy, and I used Hammerhand as an example. Listen, I don't know if you can fight or not. I don't know how big you are, so I can't say for sure. I can't. But
I
what
mean,
I'm
like
saying is, on average, many men don't know how to fight either. So it all boils down to strength, speed.
like I'll be honest, I'll put my money on Bruce Lee over an untrained guy who's got a foot on him and 100 pounds, but that's Bruce Lee. So like technique can overcome the differences to a certain extent. But when you're trying to get past multiple weight classes, it's a bit tougher.
Yeah, way tougher. And Mr. Pliskin. Also, most big guys never have to fight. Yeah, like I said before, small guys like Tyson fought every 5 minutes on the street. Yeah, Mike Tyson was 13 years old, knocking out grown ass men. I'm just saying, if you're blessed with the genes of being big and strong, most people won't even try you in the first place. Because at least in their perspective, in their untrained eye, they will get stomped on.
And to be fair, there's much like if you're facing someone who's smaller than you have a greater margin of error. Like you can fuck up to a greater extent and not get seriously bodied. But a dude who's got a foot on you and 100 pounds, for all you know, one swing's all it's going to take to knock you out.
Just one. Hey, like I said before, he doesn't even have to know how to fight.
Actually, I think I remember one story. It was from a guy over in England. Like his dad, I think that he got really drunk or something and smashed a beer bottle over the head of one of the biggest guys in the pub. It was like a soccer thing.
Yeah.
The dude did not drop. He just turned around and looked at the guy. And he was like, "Yeah, nope, I'm out. That was the best shit I got, a sucker punch, and I don't want to see your response to that."
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Dude, if you can take a
Rio says, yes, I can fight. I'm a pro fighter. That's completely different. That's
yeah,
complete. You have a way higher chance than a guy that's your size or your weight that doesn't know how to fight.
like let's be honest, less than 1% of the male population is a pro fighter.
Hell, I'll say 0.01%.
Actually, I'll just do a quick search.
Light and MGTOW, yes, experience does matter. It does matter, and I agree. If you've been doing a set of skills like fighting experience, like boxing, wrestling, taekwondo, karate, jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, judo, whatever it is, you will have a way higher chance of beating anybody that has less experience than you or no experience. But what I was trying to say is the guy who's smaller that's not trained is going to have a lot harder time with a big guy that has not trained. Because when it boils down to it, once again, no training, no nothing, strength and speed matters.
I'm trying to find an estimate on the number of professional fighters in the U.S. I'm not getting, like, it's mixing it up with firefighters and fighter as in like fighter planes. So, well, here we are. Number of pro boxers and MMA fighters. Okay, so one random guy estimates it to be about 5,000. So out of the 150 million men in the United States, 5,000 or so of them would be considered professional fighters.
Exactly. And once again, these professional fighters, right? Probably, MMA and whatever it is, they have to register. Like literally to the point where they will get in a lot more trouble getting into a fight than a regular person.
Now that's probably not counting amateurs, but that's the thing. That is less than. God, yeah, that's less than. Fuck. Yeah, that is basically 1 in 1,000.
Yeah, because
maybe like 1 in maybe 3 in 1,000.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If Ryan Garcia, who was a boxer, or Tyson Fury, who was a boxer, went around and started yeeting people, walking down the street, start punching people in the face, they will be in way more trouble. Way more trouble. Because they can actually have a high percentage chance of killing you or severely injuring you. So, like I said, if you know how to train, if you've been training for years, that's all fine and dandy. Okay. That means you have the edge. You have a way more chance of fighting somebody and winning. But with the untrained eye, like I said, lying to MGTOW and some guy that's 5'7", 8 tries him, he knows he's able to body him too easy, just from strength and speed alone. And with the comparison that I was trying to say is that's pretty much how it is with an average man and 99% of women.
Yeah, because again, it's like you got to remember, ever since like the age of 13, we're getting natural steroids pumped into us at a level that women can't comprehend.
No, and it's unfortunate that society's gone to the point where, when it comes to the feminism, social media, TV, whatever it is, and it's socially unacceptable to hit a woman. They got the delusion that they can just confront a big dude like she's a man herself. And then she's in a whole world of hurt, being damsel in distress when she confronts a man that doesn't really give a fuck about the laws.
No.
She doesn't take that to account. Most of them don't.
No, and that's the thing. That's why it goes back to, can they even imagine a world where the cops don't exist? It's like, no, like if they live in so much of a delusion that they can't imagine them ever being seen not as attractive, then they definitely can't imagine a world in which there isn't an army of simps and police to come to their rescue at the slightest provocation.
Exactly. Now, do you believe that modern women would be a lot less bold if they didn't have those resources to protect them?
I think that they probably get checked more frequently. So, yeah.
I mean, then like, well, yeah, but I'm talking about also those type of women feel that they can put their hands on any man and get away with it.
Well, that's the thing. Like for the longest time, they can. I mean, how many of these?
All right, but hypothetically, if they did not have those resources,
Well, if they didn't have those resources, then they would have tried it. They would have fucked around and found out by that point.
exactly.
I think that they would believe it up until reality proves them wrong.
Yep. And what do I say, chat? You know what I always say. They don't learn until it's too late. They never learn until it's too late.
And the problem is the current setup makes it so that too late comes too late. Like if we had a point where women got checked for lesser offenses, like imagine if the law had there are no crimes up until something that justifies the death penalty, and then there is no trial. So it's either you don't go to jail or you get bodied. There would be a shit ton of petty crime.
I agree.
And then someone would eventually take it too far and they'd immediately get bodied. And then they don't get to learn their lesson because like they're never checked when they're younger. It's like, holy shit, there's actually consequences, period. Because most people would go their entire lives without committing a crime that serious, even if like all these minor crimes weren't a thing. I mean, like look at all this freaking these shoplifting minor offenses that have been dropped. And now in these places, shoplifting is freaking rampant and blatant and open and out there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Because let's think about this, gentlemen. Like I said earlier in the stream, between men, they know there's always an underlying threat of violence if somebody tries to escalate. So there's a underlying understanding of we should be careful if we don't want things to resort to violence. Do you agree with that, Gray?
Yes.
So, and we already explained what would happen if the modern women didn't have the resources of the police, the state, the Simpson White Knights to go into a rescue. It would be over for her.
I
So
think
to
honestly,
not capsulate, to take the whole thing together, when shit hits the fan, it's gonna be that way times a million.
yeah,
'Cause
honestly, this might be something to look into because I'm sure that there are plenty of, I'll generously call them men, who do think that they can fight and obviously can't.
yeah,
And these are the same types of men who've probably never played a contact sport, even as a child in their life.
you know what? I agree. I agree with that. You know,
Yep.
yeah, there's a few wimps, but overall, I do see that there's men that are delusional as well when it comes to their own, how you say, capabilities.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that is full contact sports, something which men do when they are younger. And like back then, there can be a 20-pound difference between two kids. You get tackled by someone a couple years older than you, yet you learn that you are not freaking Superman right then and there.
Yep, I remember when I bruised my ribs in outside football. We were playing full contact. I'm like, so this is what real pain feels like. Majority of women will not deal with that in their what's it called? Growing up.
No, like it'll like and they really try to make it less for the guys too. Like playgrounds, full contact sports, like that's like you're getting in shit if that happens. It has to be something that you do privately.
Oh yeah. I wasn't talking about school. Yeah, this
Yeah.
was like literally right outside, a couple blocks down at the park. That's where all the boys get together. Yeah, that's what we have to do. But on the side note, nobody does that. Oh, people rarely do that anymore. Uh, go out and roughhouse. When I
Yeah.
say people, I mean men.
Well, I think that's big part of the problem now. Like, and this is something else I've noticed because I see, you know how like with boys there's all this fucking ADHD medication shit going around.
Yeah, they expect the 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 grade school kids, the grade school, little boys to act like girls.
Well, but
So
I
they
think that there's
perceive their
another
behavior.
there's
What's up?
another layer to it. Well, because like when I was young, like every school that I went to quite a few actually. They always had a big, wide open space that you could run around, and you got to run around in the yard like 3 times per day.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if like you're getting more and more of these hyper kids in places where there's less and less free space because like if you're out in a rural area, yeah, it's somewhat easy to have a big wide open space that you can run around all day. Whereas if you're, in the middle of a city, good luck.
I definitely agree with that point. I definitely agree. Um, but that's going to be a big issue as well. I do agree with men overestimating their capabilities. They also will have a quick ticket to heaven or whatever wherever they go, because I do see what you're talking about. That they put on that facade, that fake macho shit. Like what Mike Tyson says. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah, like they'll watch a little too much anime and think, oh yeah, I could totally hit just like that in the fucking Naruto running anywhere. And then they try pulling off some of that martial art shit in an actual fight.
I have the power of God and anime on my side.
Yeah, and then some dude just freaking takes it and they're like, why aren't my it's like the standing here meme. They're just delivering a whole bunch of punches to the chest, and the guy's like, fuck are you doing, man? And then they just deck him in the head once, and the dude wakes up 5 minutes later going, what the hell happened there?
Why do I have a headache? Where is he? I know you guys were talking about training. Give me a second. I'm gonna have to go up a bit because I do want to say that. Hold up. I can't even find it. Hold up. Man, you guys are talking a lot about training.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing, guys. Like we love to theory craft combat.
We do. I'll give you that one. But I was trying to find that one quote. I think Rio was saying it.
Yeah, something about how
I
like every guy should train for at least a couple hours a week in some kind of combat sport.
That's what I was trying to find. I agree. I don't care if you're the biggest guy or the most frail guy. You need to train. You need to train in some type of sport and hit the gym. I mean, martial arts. Sorry, you know, whether it's wrestling, boxing, wherever it is. I don't care. Hit the gym, learn to fight, some technique, something,
Well, then
and
actually, I'd no, I'd
diet.
posit this. I'd posit this to Rio. Rio, what could a man solo train for combat? Can it even be done without a sparring partner? And if so, what would you recommend?
Uh, solo train. You talking about fighting, right?
Yeah, like if you're going to train in a combat sport, but you don't have a combat gym around you, or you don't have someone that you could use as a combat partner, what are your options?
This great in this day and age. There's YouTube, social media, all that stuff. They're putting all this training online. That's the best possible way you can have the closest of learning proper techniques. I'm talking about basic tech, not the advanced. Oh, you're gonna do a 720 high kick. No, just basic techniques that you have some idea of what you are doing. But the biggest thing I'm trying to say is everybody under the warband or any man in general really needs to hit the gym, learn some type of martial art or some type of fighting techniques, and get your diet right. Look what's going on out there in the world. You really want to be caught lacking right now?
Oh God.
Really? I know you have guns and stuff, but who knows? By literally the slight chance you left your concealed carry in your car or you left it in the house and all you have is your hands and something happens. Don't get caught lacking. You always need to be prepared, especially in 2022 when everything is going to shit right now. You need to be prepared. I don't want to hear none of your excuses. Because if things do get crazy and you do get an altercation and you don't know any form of technique or anything and you're struggling in some conflict, I told you so. I'll literally point and laugh from the distance. I'll come help, but I'm gonna point and laugh. You really need to go out there, train, and do what you gotta do right now. Gentlemen, the next 5 years should be concerning to you. You always need to be ready. What do you have to say about that, Gray?
That's everything. Although I'd add on top of that, cardio. Make sure that you can run, because being able to pick your fights is important too.
Yes, cardio is key. Yes.
Like you can be very skilled, but like good luck taking 3-on-1, 5-on-1. Much better to be able to control the distance and break every fight down to a solo fight if possible.
And I forgot which MMA fighter it was, but there's a video on YouTube of this guy taking on 3 men at once. Took down all 3 men. Actually, I think he pretty much gave one guy brain damage based on how he fell in the parking lot. Fell on the back of his head and a lot of snoring. So, what I'm saying is, gentlemen, what if you don't have any type of weapon? Yeah, you can have a knife. Yeah, you can have the freaking knuckle busters and all that stuff. But what if you don't have that available? And around that time, somebody wants to try you. Like I said, in this day and age, you cannot be caught lacking. I don't care.
So
Because
also
if you lose, it's game over. I don't care. If you lose, it's over.
we got a bit of a response from Rio in the chat. So at Gray, YouTube, base Rutin, dynamic striking, dynamic grappling, bang Muay Thai. And he's probably going to do something about getting a combat training Discord, maybe his own server, maybe a subsection of the Warband to talk about solo drills. That'd be handy.
It will be. Hey, if you have any links, try to send some links to us. Just put it out there, gentlemen. Just put it out there. Like you really need to. I'm gonna keep saying it over and over until you get it, because there's no excuses when shit happens.
Ah. Oh, so yeah, I think dynamic striking is the name of the channel. So yeah, and bang my tie. Yeah, so if you just pop those into the YouTube search algorithm, you do get a whole bunch of videos, which are probably going to be useful for combat training.
Right. And I was just about to say that. D-Man, I was just about to say that. You need to go to some type of gym, some type of area, if you can, and spar with somebody. Get actual realistic situations. Actually go one-on-one for real time to time. Do something. Because I do agree with the great Bruce Lee said. Boards don't hit back. Heavy bags don't hit back. How can you truly have training if you don't actually fight somebody?
They also don't dodge.
Yeah, they don't dodge either. You really need to go out there and get some real training.
And then there's the psychological aspect to it as well, because like there's no psychological pressure to fighting a wall. Like I've seen someone, it was a female who I could do all kinds of combat drills and stances, but then like actually, okay, you know what? Here, let's actually spar with freaking boffer swords for real. Yeah, no, it was like I did some sort of psychic attack. She just like dropped the weapon and immediately started cowering. So the psychological pressure of being in an actual fight can't be ignored as a factor.
I agree. The psyche is also important, which is why you need to train often. Because there's definitely, and once again, I've been in those situations. Most of you guys been in these situations. Fight or flight. Once it gets to that point, you, for the most part, cannot dictate what you do. It will literally just be instincts at that point, right? So if you have to fight, I mean, no choice but to fight, you should be trained to the point where you can do something on instinct, pretty much ultra instinct type shit. You don't have to be the best at it, but you need to train to the point where you don't have to think about what you're gonna do next. Because if you're actually in a dangerous situation of fighting, you don't have time to think about it.
Yeah. Well, and the other point Ed O's putting down, how to throw a punch is half, how to receive a punch and overcome the shock is the other half. Because that's true. How you take a punch can be the difference between you feeling an impact and you getting knocked out.
I agree.
Like
I've been punched and kicked a lot. Okay, like a lot. So I can kind of expect uh where a punch is going, or I can may or may not, with the best of my ability, gauge how hard that person can punch. I'll be able to shake off a punch a lot better than a normal man that doesn't know what he's doing. So I
Yeah.
agree. Once, like the Mike Tyson quote, once you get punched in the face, you would definitely be freezing up, running away, or try to run away. Or if you're trained enough, you will know what to do, how to react to that, and respond accordingly.
Like even taking the punch itself. Like if you take the punch and you apply maximum resistance and don't like move with the punch, like you can get knocked out right then and there.
Yep, I definitely agree. Uh, Ton, I understand what you're saying, but we're what I'm trying to say is, what if it's just you and your hands only, hypothetically?
Well, and then there's also the question of distance. Like, sure, you might have a gun on you, you might be able to draw it, but if they're within
20
close
feet
range, yeah, 20 feet, they'll get to you
before you can
before.
even take out your weapon and aim and fire.
Yeah.
I tried it. I've tested it. I tested it myself in the military. You know what? Let's see if this is true. And we tried it with literally a person that knows how to handles their weapons. Okay, no, nothing crazy. We made sure the chamber is empty, no mag in it, nothing. We made sure it was empty. And I had a fake dagger, right? Because usually, if you're trying to kill someone hypothetically, they're gonna have some type of knife, right? And we wanted to emulate the video we saw because that's what a police video, because it was a police video we watched, that they were trained to not let the person get within 20 feet of them, because if they're 20 feet or closer, they have enough time to close the distance very quickly and get you, nick you right in the neck. I tried it. Believe me, it works. And that's scary. It works. And this is with a trained person. Because you have to you gotta go inside your holster. You may or may not have to open your holster. You have to pull out the gun. You have to move your arm to the point where you can aim. And you have to focus on aiming before you can put out a shot.
God, no,
And do you know how quick you can, a person that does your cardio, how quick they can cover 20 feet? It's not that far, gentlemen.
No, honestly, with some of the combat training I've done, like I can cover 10 feet in the time it takes to blink if I've got a good stance set up. So the explosive power is crazy.
Exactly.
And this is something else where, like, it was one of the craziest things I heard a guy say talking about home defense, where he was like, well, I'll let the guy get inside my home so that it's legal to go at him with my rifle. And I'm thinking, that's inside your house, lots of blind corners, enclosed spaces with a rifle, rather than sniping the dude from your second story window.
Okay.
Like that to me is just ridiculous. You are like, if you have a gun, you let someone get inside the walls of a building with you, your advantage is disappearing dramatically relative to them being outside and you having a good sniper position.
Yep. That's why, in my opinion, close range, my trusted weapon is a M4 or something small and compact, like a freaking. I can't even think about the guns right now. Just pretty much like a machine gun, whatever, Mac 10, whatever it is, Uzi. Something small and compact where I can able to maneuver easily and aim easily. Because once again, to a certain extent and that close range, it gets to the point where who can pull the trigger faster and who has a higher rate of fire.
Yeah.
Inside of a building. I'm talking about not like a huge warehouse or something like that. No, I'm talking about like, I don't know. How do I say it?
Let's just say it like
a school or church.
Yeah, like you think even like schools and churches have extended hallways. I'm trying to think.
Okay,
like,
regular house.
Yeah, I'm thinking like if shit hits the fan scenario, you're not going to have much more space than like either a standard house for open space or an apartment hallway for length. That's where most indoor fighting is realistically going to take place.
Yeah, Ed. Oh yeah, shotgun is the best possible one. Yeah, that's the best one.
Here's the thing: shotgun, the rate of fire.
Yeah,
the spread, like there's a difference. So I think like long guns indoors aren't necessarily good.
True, but what I'm saying is with the shotgun, especially the small compact like a house, and assuming that person doesn't even have any type of armor on or some bulletproof vests, there's a very high chance that he won't be see it coming. Like literally, it's just one pull the trigger, he's turning to mist, especially in close range. And depends on the type of shell as well.
Well, here's the. I think that video games have kind of ruined the impression of shotguns.
He just said it. Dear Slug, what'd you say?
I think a slug. At the point, if you're using a slug, then you're basically using a rifle at that point, because part of the advantage of a shotgun is the spread of the
The spread.
pellets.
Yeah.
But unless you're using a sawed off, then like the spread of the pellets is going to be very concentrated, and it's going to stay that way for a decent amount of distance, because they're not in a shotgun is not intended to shoot at someone who's, let's say, 30 to 50 feet away.
Yeah, shotgun's supposed to be like point blank range. Like point blank.
No. That's no. I'm saying the opposite. A shotgun isn't very effective at close range, particularly because it doesn't, because the pellets don't get time to spread. And if you're using a deer slug, a shotgun and a rifle are equally as effective at close range.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I was just thinking of if a person was trying to come up inside the room. All right, there, I was wrong. I'd rather use a pistol or or a semi-auto.
Like if you've got the shotgun trained on the door, like that's one thing if you're waiting for them to cross the threshold. But then there's the alternative, because if you've got a shotgun, what's your rate of fire? Because if you miss,
yeah, that's a bad thing. Very bad. I agree.
That's where I'd say that like the submachine gun would be far more preferable in that situation with a higher rate of fire.
Hey, give me a second. Channel, we talk survival. I always love the intro on Hammer's Bid. All these women scrapping it up. He, very ladylike. Develop yourselves, fellas. Yes, I definitely agree. I agree. Develop yourselves all time. Like I said before, the next 5 years is very uncertain. Get ready. But when it comes to the shotguns and stuff, I do see what you're saying. If you're already aiming before that person crosses the threshold, yeah, that's ideal. But if you're caught off guard, then that's not the best choice of weapon to even use.
Lastly, I'm thinking like it's your home in the middle of the night, someone is in your house. If there are two different locations, like say there's a 90-degree turn in the hallway, you don't know which way they're down, like 2 points of attack. Like even if you do have the door and you're like primed and ready to go for it, like say, like if I know that there is someone like with a shotgun pointing at the door and I got to get them and they're waiting, the first thing I'm going to do is take off my coat and throw it in front of the door.
See, that's the fun part. They don't know.
But that's the difference. Like, because again, a shotgun, like, yeah, that'll be a one hit and they're fucking missed. But at that point, there's fundamentally no difference between any other type of firearm. You're going to get the drop. You're going to get the first hit. Like most people can't keep going after taking a surprise 9mm, let alone a rifle round. Like that's a big fucking hole that is now in your body.
I agree, but at the same time,
at a certain range, you could shoot them with a blank and still be completely effective.
I see what you're saying, but one shell from a shotgun, especially if you already have it at the door, they don't know. They're 99% staying dead or can't shoot back.
Yeah, but that's where like anytime I pass by a door, I throw my coat first, bam, now their chamber's empty. Now I'm within 20 feet and they need to reload.
See, most people, and I see what you're saying, but most people won't be that trained. So that's why I tell people, and I forgot to tell the chat. I'm sure everybody that's explaining about weapons right now already know. Go to the gun range. Go to the gun range with whatever weapon you have. Practice. Go through a crash course on how to use the weapon properly. Go to a realistic fire range where you have to focus on reaction time and stuff. Practice if you can. The people that has weapons, go over there and actually focus on switching your target if there's multiple targets, so you don't have to worry about as much wasting all your ammo, like dumping all the bullets at once. That's what normal people do. They just empty out the mag and not try to be precise.
Yeah, no, the thing is with training, it's like training in all things. You don't just want to go completely ham. You want to make sure that you have focused training. Like it's
Because
not in freaking shows all the time. They just show someone putting like an entire clip down range, and then taking a look at the spread and going, "Oh yeah, that's a good spread."
I agree. Because in the end, above all else, the person that runs out of bullets first loses. Automatic loss.
Yeah, actually,
Unless that person knows how to disarm you somehow, some way,
that was
you
even
lost.
actually that was actually covered in the Zombie Survival Guide, which it would be curious to look through that and see how much would apply to a non-undead shit hits the fan scenario, because they said that the most effective weapon was a bolt action rifle, because one of the big problems with it, let me explain, because with the undead specifically, it wasn't uncommon for people to instinctively unload everything they had, and then, well, since it's a zombie, that can only be taken down with a headshot.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so they argued that the bolt action rifle was preferable for the headshot only zombie outbreak, because it kept you from using all your weapons it kept you from using all your bullets at once, and forced you to like choose your shots carefully. Because let's be honest, for most people, a single bolt action rifle shot to the center mass, that's enough to drop them.
I agree. And side note. Thank you, everybody that gave super chats. Your donations are very appreciated. I see it's a lot easier for people to uh, be more involved and engage a lot more through the donations, because that's what you guys been saying for months. Is that's pretty much what you guys wanted, is just get monetized so they can donate a lot easier. Second, speaking about survival, do you really think a group of women right now are talking about these type of things?
And that's the other aspect of it. No, they don't even consider being in this kind of scenario and actually having to argue the merits of different survival strategies.
Exactly. None of them are. Not none. Most of them aren't even contemplating. They're not contemplating that. They wasn't, because, like we always say, they're not long-term thinkers. In fact, society is so comfy right now, and they got all the power and no responsibility. They really believe that they're untouchable. So let's see what happens within the next 5 years. Let's see.
Jeez, yeah, it's gonna get really bad. I'm just thinking, even on a matter of, okay, you know how like women will get violent with each other when they think something's on sale in like the grocery store or at Walmart, or case in point, Black Friday.
Right.
Yeah. Now imagine if the men are just as desperate for said resources.
It will be a bloodbath.
That's the thing. If it's the last can of beans on the shelf and a man and a woman are fighting over the last can of beans, who do you think is walking away with that can of beans?
The man. And if she wants anything, there's going to have to be some transaction.
Okay, quite frankly, I think that any man who's given up his food for some sloppy toppy after, like when shit is actively hitting the fan, he's a fucking idiot. Like, I'm sorry, you're feeding her twice and giving up your food for the privilege. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, we ain't gonna go into those two base conversations, but everybody in the chat knows when things collapse, the rules don't apply. Okay, because at that point, morality is subjective.
Yeah, no, at that point, so far as I'm concerned, women need to get their shit together or they'll be the ones on the menu.
Well, see, here's the thing, you got to look at Venezuela when the economic collapse happened. Everything resorted back to the basics of male and female nature.
Now, that's actually an interesting aspect to get into because I'm not too familiar with the collapse in Venezuela. Did the cops cease to function?
Um, I I wouldn't. I'm not so sure, but I know the economic crisis was very bad that they were eating rotten meat out of the trash, like literally on mass.
Yeah, no, like that's one aspect. When like good food is hard to come by, and there's that level of desperation.
Exactly,
But
and I don't think the cops were good there in the first place.
well, no,
I'm pretty sure they're corrupt.
that's the thing. It's not about whether the cops are good. It's about whether the cops are functional, whether the cops are still
I
obeying a government.
No, I'm pretty sure a lot of them went rogue and just did their own thing, didn't follow the uh usual protocols. They become desperate themselves and they use their authority to, get stuff for themselves.
I guess the real question I'm asking is like, is it a situation where the cops would respond to cannibalism?
Hell no.
If they find out, hey, you're no, not resort to, respond to. Like if they find out, hey, this bugger's eating people, would they actually go and stop them?
No, I don't think so. No, not Venezuela. Hey, can somebody in the chat, if you can you look up if how corrupt Venezuelan cops are? Because I am just assuming right now.
I'm looking at cannibalism in Venezuela.
I'm pretty
if
sure
it was a thing.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But when I said that everything resorted back to the basics of male and female nature, what is the only thing that when the economic collapse happened, what was the only thing that a woman could do in order to even get a sandwich,
They
to
sold
get water?
they sold the only thing that they found even remotely valuable.
And that was on a massive scale. Massive. And they went north to other countries because they're trying to get to the US, right? And there were countless Venezuelan streetwalkers. Countless. Because they had nothing. They can't fend for themselves. They got no protection. They don't have somebody to help them get resources for them. They don't have a man to take care of. None. So what's the only thing that they're able to do? Now, what I'm saying is that's going to be on a massive scale if shit hits the fan. Because what else can they do? These strong and independent women that are feminists, unless they have family nearby, they don't have a man around to protect them. Remember, they divorced their fourth husband, or they feel that men are beneath them, so they never even bother to try to get married. So now they're alone. Alone, dealing with the harsh reality of the world. And she knows if there's a man or men going after her, there's nothing she can do. The only way for her to even survive the harsh reality of shit hits the fan is giving up the puniti. That's all she can do. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just being honest. What do you have to say, Gray?
Yeah, I'm looking through. It looks like the government was still somewhat functional even during the crisis, but yeah, you had motorcycle organizations. Like you had people being murdered for their motorcycles and motorcycle parts, and the cops were being killed for their weapons, and of course, piracy for the trucks.
Damn. At least they weren't getting murdered for Jordans. They probably were, not to lie. They probably were.
Let me be honest. Let's be honest. I'm pretty sure that they were being murdered for everything else, and the Jordans were just a byproduct. But then
Give
again,
me your kidney. What?
but to be honest, let's be honest. If you were wearing fucking Jordans during a food shortage in Venezuela, people were probably murdering you for everything else you had. Because who the fuck has Jordans in Venezuela?
That is true. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. But that's what I'm saying, gentlemen. There's a clear difference when it comes to survival. Men, and this is strictly survival. Once again, there's a big difference between survival and reproduction. Men knows that they will be in constant danger if shit hits the fan, but they will have a lot higher chance of fending for themselves. Eventually, being able to get to an area that's safe and continue to build from there. Build something, whatever it is, but being able to be fine with the simple essentials of whatever's left. Put the woman in the same scenario. There's dangers all around her, but she's alone. Who? How is she going to fend for herself? Just think on that, gentlemen. Think on that. What'd you say, Gray?
I think psychologically they wouldn't allow themselves to be that way for an extended period of time. Like if they don't have someone that they can call for assistance, they're going to they'll do basically anything. Like I'm pretty sure at that point, you know what? If shit does hit the fan or gets close to it, I think that there will be a lot fewer homeless men on the streets.
I definitely I agree with that. I definitely agree with that because I'm telling you, gentlemen, I'm telling you. Because when things go full throttle, I mean, I said when. If things go through full throttle, do you really think men per se will be trusting a woman as much? That's alone.
I mean, I'm thinking even on the other hand, I'm willing to bet that women like that have their own place in air quotes will go out and get a man off the streets just to live in the house as a guard dog.
I completely agree with that. No issue with that. What I'm saying is when things go full throttle, will a man trust a woman that much that's alone? Because if you guys watch Mad Max or a Book of Eli, there's a good chance that doesn't end well if you run into a woman that's alone.
A woman alone on the streets. Oh yeah, no that
giant red flag.
Yeah, there'll be no more fucking charity when shit hits the fan.
Yeah, if I was in that position, I will literally be doing a 360 looking for people in the woods or wherever they are.
I mean, at that
I would not get close to her.
I mean, shit, you got to assume that as soon as you can see the woman, there's a goddamn rifle pointed at you.
Most likely, yeah. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. And I was just thinking about that that verse, Isaiah 4:1. I was just thinking about that quote. When Gray made his homeless problem solution. I have to keep it real with you, gentlemen, because this is something that you may have to deal with. You may have to deal with. Because first up, why would a woman be alone?
Yeah, no, a woman is, even in the modern era where they're strong and independent, a woman is never alone of her own free will.
If she's still alive, alone, their shit hits a fan, there's trouble. You might as well just say fuck.
Yeah, it's like, why is there this perfectly cooked steak out in the middle of the forest?
Pretty much. Whoa, I guess somebody
like dinner plate and everything. What the hell?
I guess somebody just was running late and just left their nice, fully cooked dinner. It's a full course. Like, let me go have a
Freaking,
taste. Let me go over there.
freaking steak and potatoes on a table in the middle of the woods. What the hell? What luck? How lucky am I to find a steak and potatoes meal in the middle of the woods? I mean,
Yep. Everybody's saying it's a trap. So
if
that's
you
why.
want to, I'm willing to bet that it'd work. I'm willing to bet that if you could do that, and there'd be at least one motherfucker who'd fall for it.
Yeah, that's why. That's what I'm saying, gentlemen. That's what I'm saying. And that's what Grace said as well. There won't be no charity doing shit hits the fan. None. None. Because that, I'm sure this shit happened countless times before. Since the dawn of humans. If it's every person for themselves at that point, their little society or their little, city just went to shambles. All the way up until now. I'm sure it happened countless times. It's no joke. It is no joke. As a man, everything is out to kill you, but at least you have a chance to defend yourself. A woman does not. So if she's still out here in the middle of the road or out there in the field, just fine. How the fuck is she even still? Something's up.
Oh, geez, no. Honestly, it goes even beyond not being able to defend themselves, because then this is where cardio, strength, and speed comes in. Like a woman, even if she realized, you know what, I can't take these guys in a fight, I'm a book it. She can't outrun them either.
No, unless it's a 500-pound dude or a guy with no legs.
Well, let's be honest. After shit hits the fan, 500-pound dudes and guys with no legs, like, they're dead.
You can use it like in a Family Guy, I think it was. You can use his extra stretchy skin to fly in the sky. just swoop up. Just got you. Like a Hulk. I'll be freaking terrified.
That's the other thing. All the obese people, they're gonna lose a shit ton of weight real fast, or they're gonna die.
Oh, definitely. Oh.
Like all these people that need fucking like motor scooters to get around, they're dead.
They're the first ones to go. They're definitely the first ones to go because they already have health complications in the first place.
I mean, shit, anyone who needs their fucking medication replaced on a regular basis is probably dead.
Yep, they're the first ones to go. The feminists are the first ones to go because what the hell they're going to do when everything's down? So a lot of them are going to be gone. And pretty sure plenty of them are fat already.
I think you could still get like a pseudo hyena thing where you got one warthog and like a pack of soy boys.
True, but at the same time, there's a good chance they may fight against each other.
In the early day, like that's the thing. I'm saying, like in the early days, gentlemen, watch out for roving packs of soy boys.
Where's the puniti?
I mean, like 5 weak ass dudes with pocket knives is still a serious threat.
Yeah, it is. Still, once again, they're still men.
Although to be fair, well, if you see them walking around with skateboards, it's like, Jesus Christ, man, really?
Nothing will stop the skate. Oh shit! But in all seriousness, yeah, like if it came to like weapons fight, such as like a knife or whatever, they get up close. 5 men, 5 weak, frail Sims are still more dangerous. Like, because once again, 100 incels versus 50 Chads, who's gonna win?
That's the thing. My money's unfortunately on the incel. Well,
yeah.
Oh wait, no,
it's a numbers game.
I don't know. 50 versus 100. I'd put the organization of the Chads down. Like when you're dealing with numbers of that size, you'd get like a 300-esque situation.
Yeah, it's a numbers game.
Well,
always a numbers game.
No, but in that case, my money's on the Chads.
Because 50 Chads, 100 incels.
Yeah, my money is on the Chads being able to form up a solid enough defense plan.
Okay.
I'm thinking like 1 Chad versus 5 to 10 incels. That's where it gets a problem.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So if there's like 50 Chads and like 200 incels.
Yeah, but like even then, like if the 200, like if the 50 Chads, like say, duck down an alleyway and grab some debris and garbage can lids, then they could face off using superior tactics to take on the larger numbers. But you're not going to get 50 Chads or a roving group of 200 in a shit hits the fan. You're going to get like a roving gang of less than 20 taking on isolated or very few targets.
Just put
Like,
some dirt in their eye. That's what I do. Well, what's the King in the Hill reference? Like pocket sand.
pocket sand.
Like who's gonna expect pocket sand? Like, oh man. But yeah, I see what you're saying, Line MGTOW. Like if weapons were involved, of course, the Chads won't survive.
Yeah,
Because
no.
the numbers game is a huge thing when it involves weapons such as rifles and stuff.
Yeah, I'm talking like out in the streets, kind of melee combat. Because I've seen footage of individuals getting jumped by like between 5 and 15 people all at once. So like something like that.
So it
15,
depends if the incels are organized or not.
and that's the thing. Like they absolutely could be organized, because if there's one thing that the incels do have in common, they are followers.
That is true. That they won't really have a central guy to organize everything. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's where I see like it being like one warthog supplied by a small army of simps in exchange for, public services.
Speaking of that, and we may touch on it even more on another stream. Everybody in the chat right now, everybody in the chat, put in a 1 if you believe hierarchy between men is a good thing. Put a 2 if you think it's a bad thing. And we'll have a talk about that. I think that's a great combo. What'd you say?
It is, yeah. We'll let the chat get into it, like get their feedback before we discuss too far into it.
Okay. God damn it, Reason. It's always you. Yep, see, 111. See, Line of MGTOW. He has spoken.
Yeah, it seems to be general consensus of 1.
Yep, 111. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh shit, we have some dissent. Purge the heretic.
The audacity. Okay. We'll let you start off the hierarchy one, and I'll build on that.
Yeah, in general, hierarchy becomes essential between a ton of guys in a situation. Again, going back to the island men versus women, like a hierarchy was established almost immediately between the guys, and that saves a ton of time on decision making, and especially if you can get a good leader who knows how to delegate, like it goes a very long way. Like, yeah, if you get a bit of a tyrannical leader, that's a bad thing. But if we're talking a shit hits the fan scenario, it kind of becomes a meritocracy very fast, because unless you have
what does that mean?
All right, so you mean like Francesco's thing or my point?
Oh, your point.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing is, if you have an incompetent leadership, but the leader does not have some kind of pre-established network, like let's say you get a random assortment of 20 dudes, and one asshole starts to boss everybody else around, what authority does he have?
Not that much.
No. He's going to get his fucking ass kicked, beaten down, and maybe even ostracized from the group.
Right, because he's causing a disruption.
Yeah, like you can claim to be a leadership, you can take that, but a leader has to also be accepted by everyone else. It can't just be, well, I mean, like, there's definitely going to be some guys that would just be susceptible to following whatever the primary blowhard of the group is. But we're talking a fairly random assortment here, so there's bound to be multiple men with leadership qualities.
Okay.
And to deal with what Francesco is saying is, yeah, incompetent leadership. Well, that's backed up by a force of arms and a support network. If you had a group of 20 guys, but 10 of them already acknowledged one person as leader and refused to accept anyone else, well, more than likely you're going to get a fracturing of the group at that point.
Well, I can't just walk in and be like, I'm in charge now. Like they're like, what the fuck? Like, who are you? Like,
Exactly. Like, first thing, like, if a bunch of guys get together, they're going to establish a hierarchy and they're going to do what we're doing right now, have a discussion on the various merits of what everyone can offer, and they're going to delegate out roles, authority points, and responsibilities based on, at the very least, who claims to have certain positions, who seems the most legit of the group. And then everything will just kind of fall down from there. And if someone becomes incompetent, then they'll be swiftly replaced, because
yep,
you're going to find out pretty fucking fast whether or not someone is suitable to a position that they've been given.
I agree. I definitely agree, especially when it comes to 20 guys and let's say a squirrel ate my leg off, right? I am incapacitated and I am unable to be the leader anymore because look, I can't do the role. I physically can't do it. You know, so that's another good example. But here's the big thing when it comes to hierarchy. Hierarchy doesn't even have to be a bad thing. It's just to the point where the system is working properly. When I mean the system, I mean like the group or society in general. Like hierarchy can go from personal to societal
Actually,
issues.
well, and even chain of command is very important, because you imagine shit hits the fan. Like, everyone has a variable life expectancy that's uncertain. So
Right.
like, if you were a leader, you'd want to, at the very least, dictate a second in command. Like, look, if my head explodes into fucking mist, this is the guy you all turn to.
Yeah, that is beyond important. I completely agree with that. Oh yeah, because if that's not established, if things get crazy, and once again the squirrel's like give me your leg, and I bleed to death, there could be fighting amongst the men on who's in charge. So it needs to be established immediately. I agree.
Yeah. Like, every time you partition off someone into a smaller group, there needs to be one person that everyone else knows. Okay, this is who you take your orders from. This is who is responsible for you. Like, if shit happens, this is the person I'm looking at as what the fuck happened. I'm not going to fucking line you all up as equals and ask you all what happened. I'm going to get the fucking leader first, and then I'm going to get secondary opinions from everyone else.
Because once again, that's the big thing, gentlemen, that we are known for: responsibility. Because similar to if you're the oldest sibling of the family, right? Especially as the oldest son of the family, who is the dad and the mom going to go to first if things go crazy? The oldest.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that I believe that we can do very well is to hold people accountable if there's any type of mess ups and make sure that that doesn't happen again or that person's going to be punished or kicked out of the group, depending on what you did. So, but here's a superpower that men have that we don't talk about much. The hierarchy is beyond fluid. It constantly changes, and we can keep up with that change. For example, let's say we are in the shit hits the fan scenario, and we run into a. Now I'm the leader, right? And Gray is the second command, right?
Hmm.
and we found a car that's not working. But Gray's like, I know a thing or two about cars. I'm like, okay. At this moment, in this situation, Gray's in charge. Follow his lead. That's a superpower that men have.
I mean,
Hell,
that's the
when I
thing.
was
You always had specialists.
one thing. When I was in the military, me as a sergeant, I followed a private's lead because he was the most knowledgeable and most competent in this certain situation. Just saying, just put it out there. Okay, what's up, Gray?
Yeah, well, that's something that I've heard a lot is a good leader knows when to step aside because they are not the top authority in that situation.
I agree. That's Oh wait, what did you say? Channel, thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much, man. Bro, it's awesome to get super. I never thought I'll get to the point I'm getting super chats, man.
Jesus
It feels surreal to me, man. I'm like, god damn, like I'm getting somewhere. But if the fellas needed a leader to consult him, who would they consult? Hammer or Yeet, or brother in the Warband, or Jack Murphy? See, that's the thing. So if we're all together, they need consulting. It all depends on the situation. Who's the most knowledgeable? Of course, leadership is important, but it just all depends because even the leader is like, hey, at times he doesn't know how to fix your problem, and he will hand you off like, hey, Hammerhand has decades on me when it comes to these type of situations. Go talk to him. Or Yeet, he knows how to use a firearm pretty well. If you don't know how to use a firearm properly, go to Yeet. What do you have to say about that, Gray?
Well, that's definitely the benefit. But even to compare to, like I would not trust someone like John Anthony or Jack Murphy to surrender leadership in that kind of situation. I believe their pride would get in the way.
No, they'll be taken out.
Yeah.
Like literally. Because you can tell immediately with those two guys, they're not competent enough to lead. You can tell immediately. I don't even think they'll even get that position. And if they somehow do, they won't be in that position for long.
Yeah, no, I think that they could get that position over some men with like they've got enough of a fucking like they're able to sell ice to Eskimos. Like that's the close thing. Like they'll fucking talk and talk and talk to you to convince you of something that you don't fucking need. Like they could definitely get some men to follow them initially. And also they could probably talk their way out of their incompetence as well. Because let's be honest, they've had to. Otherwise, they wouldn't have any success that they currently have.
I agree. I don't know if it's just me, like it's a natural thing to me, but if I notice you talk way too much and there's no action, I already see you as somebody that's not competent. You just
Nowadays,
talk.
You gotta speak Zuber, man. You gotta say that shit's kind of sus.
Okay, yeah. Let me go to the younger generation. Sus. That's pretty sus. Among Us. Oh man. But let me see. Yeah, man. A Hammerhand for president. Man, the meltdown will be way worse than the 2016 election when Trump won. Oh, the meltdown will be bittersweet for Hammerhand. Let me keep going with the chats. PK Grows. Shit, I smell bullshit with Jack long before we expose him. Him and Tim are shekel goblins. Pretty much, especially when you saw their website. God damn. Like, you really need that much money just for a 4-week course, 8-week course?
To this day, I still wonder if it's not like these women with unreasonably high standards. Like, are you just saying that to make other men think you get that when realistically you have no one subscribed at that level?
What'd you say?
Like, I wonder if they only put that up just to make people think that they get at least one person who pays that much.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they want to put up that illusion that their content is that high of a value.
I should really look through a couple marketing books and just see if any of these things are listed as strategies, because these guys don't seem like the kind who'd come up with these kinds of strategies. It sounds like something that they get from a marketing or business class and then just apply it.
Hey, my bad, Francesco, but these days, many Gen Zs, they can't even know the difference between your and your.
Well,
So,
to be fair, that's actually nothing new.
no, it's not nothing new, but I just had to, hey, like, I need to dumb down the big words for not all. I'm not saying all Gen Z are dumb, but many of them, they really need, we need to break it down party style at times, okay?
we got we got to learn to speak their language. No cap.
Oh, it's making me sound so old.
Get Mannequin saying, okay, Mannequin, this is what we need you to translate into Gen Z for us. Get you speak their language. You're one of them.
No cap. What the fuck? Everything changes, right? Everything changes. Like the things that we were saying, like 14, 13 years ago was weird to our parents. So I'm not judging too hard. It's just the words that are made up along the way. It's pretty hilarious. Like the only Gen Z word I've been using lately for the most part is based. Because that replaced facts, pretty much.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then of course, fucking based gets you get so many people where language is harder and harder to unify now, because based will even mean different things to different people. Like, everyone knows how it feels like, but there's no single definition for it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's between my parents' generation. I think that's around my gen. I never said whack like that as a child. That's more of my parents' generation.
Groovy.
Or, yeah, man, that's fat. Like, you call me fat?
Is fat cool or is sick cool?
And
is fat related to thick?
Yeah, lit is a big thing as well. And how in my generation we said we call jewelry ice. Today they call it drip.
That's the thing. I think ice is more specific to jewels, as in diamonds and whatnot.
Yeah, diamonds. Yeah.
Whereas like drip can even apply to clothes, and it's become more slang for fashionable.
Pretty much, but they do also apply to jewelry as well. Like, oh, look at all that drip, bro.
That's the thing. Like, it's like high wealth fashion.
Yeah, they say drip or water.
Oh no, drip is the new bling.
Yeah. Oh my god, bling. I haven't heard that in forever. I haven't heard that in a long time. Oh my god. Yo, we getting old, son. Bling bling. Yeah. Lil Wayne. I was just about to say. Oh man. But I say, hey, if you guys know these artists, but I know them. Gucci Mane and Young Jeezy, they made the ice thing very popular. Like it was popular before, but with that one song "So Icy," they made it beyond popular. Now with this,
what about Vanilla Ice?
Oh yeah. See, that's what I said. It's always been popular, but when Gucci Mane and Young Jeezy came out, they really made it popular. But now with the new age rappers, what's his name? Lil Baby with the song "Drip."
You mean Da Baby?
No. It's a different baby. It's a different baby.
Different baby.
Damn it. Because he had that song called
Lil Baby X Gonna Drip Too Hard.
Yeah, Drip Too Hard. I think that's what that song is called.
Yeah, Lil Baby and Gunna.
Yeah, so it's yeah. I know a lot of you guys are confused up with that language right now, but But back to with the hierarchy. Um, when it comes to a group, a hierarchy always have to be established, especially with men. Gray, do you really believe that women do the same thing?
Oh, absolutely not. They search for group consensus.
Yes, all the time, all the time, and that's why most of the time things get done very badly, or things don't get done at all because they're worried about how everybody feels.
Yeah, no, and that was a big part back on the island as an example. They spent so long trying to get what does everyone think? Like, is everyone in agreement on this? They ended up fragmenting, and like one group went off, another group went off, and fucking got lost. They didn't move as a unified whole, searching for group consensus. And heck, I've been in the car when three women are just trying to decide on where to park. By God. You'd think that the driver would just pick where to park, but no, the driver's literally consulting the back seat for what whether a parking space is good or not.
Yeah, it's insane. That's why men, we talked about this before. Men are individualism, and we worked together amongst ourselves with that individualism to create the hierarchy. Women, they are collectivism. Okay, they worry about what everybody has and make sure everybody has similar or the same thing, so everybody's happy. Which system can run and maintain a society?
Let's think. Which system can just forget about running or maintaining a society? Which one can just make decisions when necessary?
Oh yeah, you already know what that answer is, Chad. Yeah.
Like that's the like for fuck's sake. Like it is absolutely goddamn brutal. You know, funny thing is, I'm thinking. I don't know if you ever saw Fairly Odd Parents. There's one
I
episode
did.
where
One of my favorite shows.
remember the Valentine's Day episode where they segregated the societies.
Kind of, yeah. I do know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Well, basically, like in that one, of course, since it's like subtle feminism, the man's became like fucking anarchy and shit, and the women apparently built their own paradise.
I'm like,
But
bullshit. Okay, keep going.
yeah, but I remember the scene later on when the women are, the women upset, like fucking shock and awe because they miss the men, even though they've forgotten what men are. They are all at a giant circle table, like all of them. And
I
I
have to
think,
watch that scene again, but I definitely believe it.
yeah, I can probably like maybe see if I can pull up the image because so long as I don't actually play the video, YouTube shouldn't care.
Yeah.
But I think that summarizes women in a nutshell. Like men, okay, you might have the round table, but that wasn't every single man in Camelot. It was just King Arthur saying that I am equal to you, my most trusted of knights. But like the women, every single woman is given an equal say.
Which
There's
is not good for men and women.
Yeah,
So
and in the end, they didn't actually come to any decisions on what to do. They just all started crying at the same time. So
okay, that I can believe.
yeah,
I can definitely believe that.
they all just came to an agreement that they were upset and didn't understand why.
But the audacity that you reminded me, you really believe all men will be in chaos and women will build their
Well,
own society?
yeah,
Come on,
although that
y'all.
was the funny thing. Like it was chaos, but it was basically just fucking sports bars. Everything was a mess, but everyone was happy.
Yes. But I
So
definitely gotta watch that scene again just to get a laugh. What'd you say, Gray?
yeah, I'm gonna look it up. But that was the thing. Is like, yeah, it was like basically just all rough, unclean, rough and tumble. And like that actually does bring us to a question. How I mean, I'm sure that we'd go for hygiene, but I'd say that women definitely care about aesthetics far more than men. So in a society without women, I can see aesthetics taking a bit of a back seat, let's say.
Oh, of course, because just like what Dave Chappelle said, you know, similar to cap off what you just said, if men could get sex for women without a house, they would not get a house. Literally, men can be very simple to the point. Yeah, newsflash: men can also be clean. I hate that freaking stereotype. Do you know how many times when I was 16 years old and I was working at a restaurant and I had to go to the girls' bathroom? It is why so gross? Why? I was that okay. I would say that has to been my red pill before I even aware of the red pill. I'm like, you guys are fucking gross. And as I get older and older, you always, for the most part, see the man's room fairly clean, and more likely than not, especially on social media or dating apps, you see her room. Oh fuck! It's like a whole hurricane went through her room twice.
Yeah. So like there's the female council right there.
There's no fuck. Okay, take that off. Oh my god.
But like the importance is that like it's all a circle.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Oh my god, that is ain't no way, boy. But in all seriousness, though, um, in my opinion, if there was no women, men will be able to still have a functional society and have a flourish of resources and stuff. Because for the most part, men are just happy to even have a roof over their head. That's it. That's it. Like, well, once again, if men don't have to work as hard to build society, because once again, and it's a good thing that men innovated majority 99% of everything that you see in society today so that they can make women more comfortable and safe to have kids.
Sorry, I just got to put
Like,
the image of the male society real quick. I found a good shot.
all right, what's up? Nah.
Nah.
We will be clean. So,
Yeah, like, we'd be way fucking cleaner than that shit. That's for damn sure.
yeah, definitely. Ugh, gross. But in all seriousness, if men didn't have to worry about keeping society nice and comfortable as possible, to the point that what all the luxuries we have today, just so that women are comfortable and safe enough to have kids. If we didn't have to worry about all that, things would be much more simpler. But I believe the resources will be flourishing. Not that much drama is going to happen. Don't get me wrong, okay? There's going to be a lot of people that like, well, damn, it's a sausage fest. God damn. But in all seriousness, we can survive till the end of our day until we get too old and eventually everybody dies. We can function for the most part because we wouldn't be needing much in the first place to keep our society going.
Well, honestly, this is one thing that I will actually give some credit to Kevin Samuels because he pointed out very clearly that if every single woman were to disappear from society, men would live in abundance because we produce far more than we need to sustain the male population.
Oh man, do you know how it'll be too many PS5s, man? It'd be insane. Like
everyone would have a fucking 3090.
yeah, everybody's gonna have an 80 or 100-inch screen TV.
If you have a 30 like a 3040 or a 3050 or something, you're considered poor.
Right.
I was like, oh, you poor dear with your 3050. Here, have my spare 3090. I can't bear to see someone unable to play in 8K.
you Neanderthal, how dare you play in 8K? Try this 20K. Like what? Like damn. And just imagine the resources of food and stuff,
Like,
just
yeah.
in abundance with all this food. Wait, hold on, Gray. With all this food and stuff that we will have, it will be free electricity. I'm telling you, man. Don't get me wrong. There will be plenty of men They'd be like, damn, this sucks, no puniti, boo, friggity who, right? It is what it is. But if that hypothetical situation happened, if all women disappeared, we will live the rest of our days, like what Grace said about what Kevin Samuel said. We will live the rest of our days in abundance.
Okay.
In my opinion, peace.
All right, but here's the other thing, though. Okay, so yeah, no puniti, but there's also no women to shame men for having their own methods of relief. I think Dollhouse Phil make a fucking fortune.
Oh, they'll be the new billion. Like they'll be the richest company.
Like the fucking stigma would be gone.
It'd be gone. You don't have to worry about kids. You don't have to worry about feeding the doll. Nothing. See, that's even worse. And why a lot of women, they love to shame men to the freaking core, because a sex doll can effectively replace the woman. The only thing the sex doll can't do is have kids.
Oh god, that's the thing. The modern woman doesn't even do that. Like the modern woman is inferior to fucking silicone. That's like every woman should be fucking ashamed.
They would rather deal with like fleshlights and stuff. Literally, like it's gotten to that point.
Like that's the thing is like, fuck, they're cheaper. They're way lower maintenance. You don't got to worry about them fucking cheating on you or getting fat or any of those other things. And God, they don't fucking nag you. They don't fuck with you.
They're ready 24/7. What's it called? There's peace and quiet. And once again, the post-nut clarity is real, gentlemen. All you guys know that. Because once you get it out of your system, you're like, whew, all right, let me go back to what I was doing. Let me be productive.
Oh, and that's the thing. Like when we go like, well, she can't cook for you, she can't clean for you. I say, neither can you.
We've been cooking for ourselves for like how long? Like we're good.
Shit, at least I don't have to clean up after her.
Boom. But what about washing laundry and all that stuff? I've been doing all that all my life.
Yeah,
I'm good.
And she doesn't sweat. I don't have to wash her clothes.
But are you afraid of being alone? The fuck? I got the boys.
Yeah, and it's not like you're really thrilling company anyway. I spend more time trying to get away from you.
Exactly. And I can easily walk down the street, and this situation I got, the movie was with George Clooney, and he had a girl try to sell him marriage, and pretty much explain why he should get into marriage in a seller's point. Try to pitch marriage to him, and she was like, "Oh, what if you get lonely?" Like, I can easily walk around and talk to whoever I want to talk to. Like, why would I be lonely? Like, okay. Like, oh, what about kids? Like, no. Like, child support, fuck that, Oh, what about this? What about that? She couldn't pitch marriage to him. Then she out of nowhere started crying.
Yeah, because they'll straight up realize that they don't have anything to offer, and it is only through deception that a man would even begin to marry them.
Exactly. You betrayed. You walked away from your traditional contract. Now, but you're saying we can't do the same? Kind of tells me that you need us. It's like, gentlemen, the definition of insanity, which I will get into detail in another live stream. Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. That's literally the definition of insanity. So that's pretty much, how do you say, giving a treat to a rabid dog and expected it not to bite you. And you just do it over and over and over again. Expected the dog to not bite you with rabies. That's how I see men getting married over and over and over again in today's society. Always have that hopeful factor. Always believe, oh, I'll find that special one. That's the definition of insanity to me, gentlemen. We will definitely get into that more in the future. We will.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Jesus Christ. But
if Susan won't let us play fucking clips, I'm gonna at least show the goddamn stills.
Hell, I'll be pissed off if they try to take that down just for the picture alone. That'd be some bullshit. But overall premises, gentlemen, overall premises of why I make this, they really believe that they can compete with men when it comes to survival. No. Because what if all men disappear? And what do majority of men do in society as jobs?
Oh yeah, let's do a dive on that. Like fucking, what if all the men disappeared?
The nuclear reactors would be fucked.
There's some automated systems that would put them on the back burner. I don't think that a nuclear meltdown would be an immediate concern due to all the safety mechanisms in place.
Transportation will stop.
Yes. Right away, you're going to have the entire trucking industry collapse.
Yep. And subways and trains.
Yeah. So your entire transit system, aside from personal vehicles and what gas is still in the local gas stations, like that's it. Immediately, there's going to be a struggle for the remaining fuel and resources that are still on store shelves and in local reservoirs.
I agree. And on top of that, there's no leadership in the home or in the government.
Yeah. So the cops are gone. There are at best a couple women with guns and badges, but they carry no authority, because what's a female cop without the backing of, the rest of the police force and the military?
A LARPer.
Fucking Target.
Well, that too. And political leaders that make sure everything is going smooth on their terms, right? They're gone.
Yeah. Well, communication drops off too.
Yep, that's gone.
Because it's like, that's the thing, how long, maybe the reactors won't go, but how long is the power grid going to stay up with only women to staff it? They wouldn't be able to train up. Like, even if there are some women who are in positions where they do know what they're doing, they wouldn't be able to train a new workforce of women fast enough to stop the power from going out and staying out.
Yep. And another big thing, infrastructure. Men that works in infrastructure, they're gone.
Yeah. So
things won't be rebuilt as fast, or won't be built at all.
They're just not going to. Shit's going to go till it breaks, and then you might get one or two things that can get fixed, but there isn't the labor force to keep it sustained where power comes back on reliably, or even water coming. That's the thing. Like, if the electricity goes,
yep.
Would there even be flowing water?
Nope. And sewage system.
Yeah, the septic system is going to start backing up. Like, the women in the best positions will be the ones in extremely rural areas where they have a well or maybe like a river running nearby.
Yeah, they will have a way higher chance of survival.
Like, every woman that doesn't immediately flee from the cities is going to die.
Arlen Herman, thank you for the super chat. Shroom lives matter. All right. Here we go. But there's plenty of other things that'll be gone. Food.
That's the other thing. Like, the food, especially the cities, which were like, I saw 72 hours in the chat. Like, in the cities, fucking 24 hours. Like, just the next morning of the trucks not making their usual deliveries, the planes not making their usual deliveries, like, and the amount of just the rate of consumption in cities, like people going to be going into their like fridge and freezer stockpiles, and that's before the power goes out, which it probably will very quickly, and then all the food's going to expire. Like 72 hours, the cities will be empty of edible food.
I agree. And
Like maybe some canned shit, but that'd be it.
let's go to the beginning. Farmers gone.
Yeah. Food production is gone. You might have some women, again, way off, middle of nowhere. Maybe they had a farmer husband. Maybe they're one of those crazy hippies that is actually, they have actually made a fucking self-sustaining shit somehow. Like, you know, maybe like Mennonites or the Amish, like, they'd probably be in far better positions, really, because they're not as dependent on the tech.
Right. And clean water. Because we were talking about water before. Clean water.
Yeah,
Also
that's the
gone.
thing. Well, that's the thing. You'd be reliant on well water for the cleanest possible. River water would be secondary, but you'd want to be pretty far away from towns just due to runoff and shit.
Yep. You know, plenty of them are going to go drink water from the sea. You know how that's going to go.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like those that aren't near a fresh water source, they're gonna drink fucking. Like if they're near the ocean, they're gonna drink fucking seawater.
Yep. And the biggest thing, predators. The big boys like bears and wolves and
Honestly, I'd say they're pretty low on the threat priority.
at the time, but when vegetation starts to come through.
Okay, that is being very generous for. I don't think that you're going to get women surviving long enough for plant growth to be a problem.
That's true. I give them how much time I'll give them? 2 months max until the last one goes out.
That's the thing. I'd say 99% would be gone by that point.
Yeah,
I think you'd have like the isolated, very rural ones holding out well, potentially for another year.
No, Chad, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about wildlife, right?
Okay, no, channel 1800. If we have fire by water, we can make it fresh too. Okay, that's men. Have you seen like the Kevin Samuels script where he asks a woman how she desalinate water? She straight up said, "I'd boil it."
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
not she'd boil it and collect the steam for condense. She literally thought all you had to do was heat water up to a boiling point and the salt just disappeared from it.
Yep, pretty much. She see that literally. I think I watched that one segment. That was a black woman, right?
Yeah.
I was like, my side was hurting from laughter. I was like, oh my God.
You saw he was about to ask, and he was like, "Wait, I shouldn't assume that she knows what the exact process is."
Like seriously, it's getting crazy out there, man. But we've been talking for over 2 hours. Holy crap!
Oh yeah,
I forgot to get in callers. I completely forgot about it. Oh, my bad, chat. Oh my God! If you guys want to join, I'm gonna send a where is it? I'm gonna paste it right now. Here you go. Here's the link. We'll finish out the conversation right here because it was getting too good. Hell, we can make a part 2 about this.
Oh, absolutely. You can make a part 2 to most of these things because, like, we're trying to cover massive fucking topics in even a couple hours of just back and forth. Like, damn, it's just never enough.
Sir Yeetus
exposed as anti-caller.
Interesting. I'm pretty much anti everything, huh? But yeah, hey, you guys can join real quick if you want. But if you guys are too busy or whatever, it's all good. We'll just start ending the stream soon, so we can focus on a part 2 because I think 2 hours is good enough.
Oh yeah, honestly, if we don't If we don't call ends to this stuff, we'll go 4 hours.
Yeah. If I can definitely. Honestly, if we did like a legit talk, which I might on my 100th episode, literally 8 hours. Because remember, I did the 8 hour one on the P-Way?
Oh boy, 8 hours.
I
That
guarantee
shit.
you, me, you alone, we can probably break that.
Yeah, we could. Like just fuck yeah, I'll have to fucking set aside like I'll basically have to prep for that and get a bunch of fucking food set aside, shit ton of water, and then booze for later.
uh, hey, Francisco, you gotta turn off your camera. Turn off your camera real quick. All right, you're good.
Can
What's
you hear
going
me?
on? Yep, I can hear you now.
No, good shot, man. Good shot tonight. Honestly, it was a long time listening to you guys. So, I was just playing a bit of GT7 and just put on your stream. That's all. Just wanted to say hi.
Hey, what's going on, man? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I could be roasting these thotties and stuff, but in my opinion, they don't really deserve my attention as much. I do expose them, but I want to do it in a way where the gentleman can understand. Not, oh, look at her, she's being stupid, blah blah blah. I'm not that funny. Let's keep it real. I'm more of a serious guy. Chronic and Ribby are way better at roasting these
Well, that's why it's good to
stereotypes.
have multiple people, though, right? So you can have you, that's the serious guy, and then Chronic is like the Joker. Then, you get Ribby as well. So it's a good mix.
We forming a boy band here.
Well, it sounds like it, doesn't
Sounds
it?
like it.
You just need a drummer.
Well, having diversity is very important when it comes to content, because different people, they are more interested in how the information is presented. If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's what pisses me off as well when like you hear people on TV saying like the red pill is like one dimensional, and it's like no, it's not. There's a lot more aspects to this. There's a lot more segments. There's the funny
Exactly.
aspect, the rage aspect. There's other things as well.
Exactly. And I see the Warband being the perfect example because, and Greg could vouch for me on this, how people, they learn better through sight, through demonstration, through hearing.
Yeah, different learning styles, but I think even beyond that, it keeps people from getting bored because like people aren't going to want the same emotional stimulation every single day for weeks or months on end.
I
Yeah.
agree with that, actually. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest disconnect that I think I have with like the past generations where they can just bake in front of a TV for like 4 hours. I just can't do that. I need more. I need like the conversation to be like more stimulating than that.
I definitely agree with that. I agree 1,000,000% because at this point, and I got a lot of inspiration from Replica Fish. You know who he is, right?
Yeah, he's awesome, man. Yeah. I used to watch him back in 2017, I think. Was he around that early?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he was like Replicant Fish, then he was Men's Square, and then he got back to being Replicant Fish.
Yeah. It's fucking hilarious, that dude.
God, I fucking loved his old graphics because he had the best evil laugh, like legit competition with RPM for some of the best.
Yeah. I'm an evil bastard.
But yeah, also I got inspiration from Hammerhand as well. We can have a good time here and there.
It's funny because I've discovered TFM through by chance. It was literally by chance. It was YouTube suggestions back when YouTube was kind of okay with you guys.
Ooh, okay. I guess this YouTube partnership thing is working. I heard that people.
This was back in the day, though. Huh?
Back in the day, I agree, but just today alone, I learned that pretty much the partnership people gets more priority when it comes to being promoted.
Well, YouTube absolutely wants to prioritize people that it's going to make more money off of.
Yep, that's why they've taken a huge chunk.
Well,
But whatever.
like, let's be honest. I'm willing to bet that they kind of looked at the live streams and then realized, this guy does fucking multi-hour live streams every fucking day.
TSM was pulling in bigger numbers than like some really big gaming YouTubers, and I was like, shit, man, like you must be talking about something, right? Come on. And then after years and years of like listening, then I was like, shit, man, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, he's a bigot, all right, but that's good money.
No, apparently he's a bigot, racist, terrorist, everything. He's all the ists and isms. So,
but
yeah.
money.
Hey, we know these tech oligarchs won't hesitate to platform dangerous people in exchange for sufficient money.
And that's the crazy part. Like, what dangerous thing am I doing? Society's too hilarious, man. So hilarious.
Kind of the Dr. Disrespect dilemma with Twitch, wasn't it? He was making money, and then they were like, yeah, but he's outspoken, but he does this. They were kind of half-hearted about it.
Real talk, $5. The creature's strength is in low. Slash, she can slither. How many hearts can she wither? And how many sims she can get to be a tither? What is tither?
Not entirely sure. I think he just wanted. I think like something like tizzy, but he wanted it to rhyme with ither.
Oh, okay. But hey, real talk, thank you, man. Thank you. Honestly, I didn't even expect to get monetized. I thought I was gonna get rejected. Like, no, you got green flames. I'm like, what? I don't even have green skin.
Yeah. No, tither actually would be pronounced tither, as in one that pays tithes.
Okay.
So
we need Gray's intellect for this.
I like learning new words.
Not intellect. This is me literally having another browser tab open and able to just Google shit on command. Well, I use the Brave search engine now.
But in all seriousness, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy it, and I believe personally, I think it's a personal responsibility for me to get this out here, because within the 8 years I've discovered the red pill, society is going towards a downward spiral, and nobody or no man in real life is truly able to speak of something like this in public without potentially getting attacked.
Man, there's a lot of guys that are just in denial about it too.
That as well, yeah.
I started figuring out that something was up back in like 2015. Like stuff was like starting to become a lot more prominent. Like there was the injection of whatever the politics was. That's when it started, I think, ramping up, and I started noticing it.
Okay. I am going to. Do you want to stay on call?
It's up to you, man. Yeah, that's fine by me.
I'm going to add Dax. What's going on, Dax?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Buniti,
are you able to turn down the volume?
Sorry, is this better?
A little bit more.
How about now?
Yep, that's good. And also,
sorry.
I'm going to add
This voice is too alpha, man.
Andrew, where you at? Is Andrew gone?
His mic is muted. There it goes.
All right. So, what the?
Shut up.
Oh my god.
Oh, it said you're the one with the chickens. I remember you.
Yeah.
I mean, look at my
This man knows his cocks.
look at my avatar. What do you expect?
Sus.
He's preparing dinner. Come on.
But that's a very, very violent. Very violent.
What's for dinner? KFC.
I think it's fish. Chicken. No.
Let's carry on.
Shut the heck up. Yeah. Don't mind them. Oh.
Okay, they are very loud. Okay, hold up.
Yeah, this is where the noise comes in.
Yeah, the noise is.
It's okay. Keep talking. Don't mind me.
Kind of provides us a background theme, I guess.
No,
background.
Hey, Andrew, I gotta let you go for now until you can get to a quiet place. All right?
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
or
man.
at the very least, like just mute yourself until you're talking, so that they're not
I'll mute
interrupting.
myself. Don't worry. I'll mute myself. You guys talk.
Okay. Dax, do you have anything to say about the topic we explained today, or do you have anything else?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I was listening for most of it. I chimed in maybe around like the 20-minute mark, I'd say. Yeah, I mean, I'm in total agreement with you guys, like especially about the hierarchy thing. I don't know if y'all happen to mention this, but it's just like another one of those things that like if women had no men around, it's like other things they would need, basic, electricity, plumbing, mechanic work, carpentry. It's like how many women do you see these days that are capable of even like the basic shit in any of those any of those trades?
0.001, maybe 0.0001.
Yeah,
that makeup industry be fucked.
Yeah, the people like what Gray said that's in the country has the biggest chance of surviving because they should somewhat have basic knowledge of what to do when it comes to getting their own food and stuff. Because if they lived out in the country since, I don't know, a long time, then they should have enough knowledge to survive a lot better than the women that are in the cities.
Truth. In fact, I actually live in a part of the States where like I could drive a couple hours and be in the rural areas, and like I know folks out there that like you definitely learn some of the skills of the trade out there when you're living that life.
Definitely.
Nice.
Especially
farmland,
holding the flashlight, right? For your dad. Him just yelling at you. I think that's a good trait.
Hey, it's a helper if nothing else.
Right. With the shit hitting the fan scenario and stuff, they really, I wonder, there will be still women that will think that they can, overcome, which clearly is not going to happen. But I just love it because Venezuela and Ukraine shows perfect examples of when shit hits the fan. And shit hitting the fan, that's a walk in the park compared to what will happen in the U.S. Because guess what? Everybody has a fucking gun.
Well, here's the other thing.
The women will be fine. Don't worry.
Well, here's the other thing, because in Venezuela, a bunch of them fled as refugees.
Yep.
If the U.S. goes, where is anyone going to run?
That's
Southeast
true.
Asia.
Closest is Canada.
Well, yeah. The only thing I can think of is Southeast Asia. I mean,
that's how they're going to flee to Southeast Asia
through boats. That's how the Vietnamese float to Australia. They went through boats.
It is way easier to get from Vietnam to Australia than it is to get across the Pacific Ocean.
I think they'll manage. Don't worry.
That's if you're anywhere near the Pacific, by the way. Like if you're on the East Coast, oh man.
Yeah, you're screwed.
That's a whole other story. If you're like nowhere near close to the Pacific Coast.
Well, and then, of course, there's navigation.
You can float to Africa. I guess.
Now, like, if you think that you'll go it in circle, forest is bad. Yeah, good luck doing that shit on the ocean.
Yeah, and like I said before, man, the shit that happened in Venezuela and Ukraine will be a walk in the park compared to if shit hits a fan here. Everybody is going to be shooting at each other. It will be the wild, wild west on a large scale.
Yeah.
Like a shit ton of bullets flying everywhere.
Yeah, for the first couple of months. After that, order is going to be, restored. So,
right, and like what Mr. Plistic said, yeah, and what RPM says all the time. Shout out to RPM. When the lights go out, feminism will go out with it. Everybody will shut the fuck up. Similar to what happened in Venezuela, they shut the fuck up. Similar to what, even though Venezuela wasn't really that crazy with feminism, in Ukraine, which was crazy with feminism, all of them shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see a single one of those staunch feminists.
Not one.
Yeah. Talking about now the women and children are allowed to leave, but the fighting age men have to stay. It's like, where's your equality now, bitches?
Yep. And the biggest thing is,
Also, the trans have to stay as well.
yeah, now
That's
you
kinda
know
funny.
that Putin doesn't give a fuck about, where you are. Like, he already targeted train stations because he's trying to prevent them from leaving in the
Well,
first
to be
place.
fair, they are smoggling weapons between their legs, so that's
Yeah,
probably what they're doing.
that as well. But it's just the audacity of feminists in the West that say, "Yeah, we need to go over there and help. We need to go over there and help them." But they mean you go over there and fight, not
No,
them. You.
I know. Honestly, that's the one thing that really gets me.
Yeah.
Is a lot of the
Remind
guys
me
that-
of. Continue.
yeah, like so many guys come up with solutions, and the first thing is like, well, all the guys need to get together, and we, as in you, need to do this dangerous thing.
I'm like, why? Like, what?
Go die
Yeah.
for a country that probably half of us can't even point out on a geographical map.
Right? What the fuck? Why won't you go over there if you care about them so much? They shut the
Well,
fuck up.
Well, to be fair, isn't this the same as like saying, "Look at that big mammoth. Go and grab it for me."
Pretty much. I'm like, yeah, you go grab it.
Yeah.
the same?
They kind of remind me of people keep complaining about overpopulation. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. They keep telling we need to thin out the population. What they mean is that you need to die so that they can live and enjoy the planet.
But I agree, channel. Strong, independent, but you go. Like, no. You go. Like, the fuck? See,
plus
and
all
they
these
already
people-
showed their true colors, right? They already showed the true colors. You can see all over social media how many times women say, "Why don't you just go over to war and die? That's all you're good for." They say it everywhere.
And to which I'd counter is like, well, at least we're good for that much.
Ooh.
If you didn't have a hole between your legs, honey, you'd have a price on your head.
They don't want to realize reality. They don't want to realize that. They know this, actually, in my opinion. They know this, but they refuse to admit it. They refuse. They refuse.
Once you get shot, there's no respawns. Like that's it. You know?
Say no Call of Duty here.
It's just me only.
Well, it's gonna be easy. Don't worry.
And the funny thing is, like, a bunch of the ones that have gone, yeah, they didn't die in an open firefight. They got shelled.
Well-
Exactly.
Like that shit doesn't happen in Call of Duty. There's no point where it's like, oh, here's the combat mission and your character's dead because their bunker got blown up. Tough shit.
If the U.S. falls or the West falls, the whole world will be going to shit, except for the few of the Eastern countries that could sustain themselves amongst each other.
The balance of power will change.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, the
Yeah.
U.S. going, like, that's kind of the big stick that is used
Someone-
to keep a lot of people in line.
There will be an economic collapse on a global scale if we fall.
That's true.
It is.
Someone
it is
else
also.
will-
So
Is the petrodollar being dropped?
Give me a second.
Has it officially been dropped?
Wait, what'd you say?
I'm saying, is the petrodollar officially being dropped now?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah. They've
shit.
been trying to. The leader of Saudi Arabia, I think another country, is not answering Sleepy Joe's phone calls about the
You can't really
yes.
blame him.
Yeah.
Like,
and on
let's be
top of that,
honest.
and I said the last stream, Russia already bounced back with their ruble
Yeah, that's true.
higher than before the war even started.
Fuck.
Yeah, but the thing is, like,
yeah, and
wi-
they're
regarding-
cooking something with China right now, a new currency, I believe.
yeah.
What'd you say, Gray?
Well, with regards to like GG2's things, like, no, the world has not gone to shit.
No, it
Like,
hasn't.
this
not
is
yet.
nothing compared to what is coming.
Because if it does, right, which is a high probability that it will, you would, us men know, but the first world countries that live so comfortable right now, oh, they're gonna know the true horrors and the true nature of humans.
I would love to see.
in our main nature as humans. And I will repeat it over and over again.
Yeah.
We are violent.
Well, I think it's going to be a little bit different because everyone have the vaccine,
Wait.
triple vax, quadruple vax.
Hey, watch.
They can be
that.
walking around.
Wait.
Hokey pokey or jab, man. We got to use the code words. We just got
Be a fool.
monetized.
Remember, it's YouTube.
I can be yeeted for this.
So you
Okay, sorry.
But in all seriousness, though, humans are violent. When shit hits the fan, we revert back to our natural neighbors. It's going to be bloody. It will be a bloodbath. It will be blood throughout the streets.
I mean, we saw just with you remember, of course, the BLM riots a couple of years ago. Like all that, like that.
Yeah.
That was child's play compared to what like a real S hitting the fan.
Times it by a million. You guys don't know the true horrors. People that actually never had to see those harsh realities of the world. You guys can't comprehend what will happen when the U.S. falls.
On the bright side, these people will be bedridden with the cold, and they won't be able to run due to heart complication from an unknown source. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it's going to be much easier than the French Revolution. let's
be honest. Most Americans can't run around anyway.
That is true.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
There will be bodies in the West.
Yeah.
By the millions.
It will be easy for us because we're kind of somewhat fit. So.
Man, Chronic was showing a short. 95% of the room was like way overweight. I was like, oh my god, man. That's like
here's the thing, like can you run continuously for 5 minutes? Congratulations, you're in the top 10%.
Are you serious?
Probably.
Oh my god.
Just think about it, like how many people do you know that can run for 5 minutes straight without getting completely winded?
Everyone around me.
But hey, man, I'm trying to make people comprehend here. Who has the most guns in the world?
America.
USA.
Guns outnumber people in the U.S. Like I said, a lot of people won't be able to comprehend. For at least a year, bodies will be dropping by the millions. Bodies will be dropping. Constant war. Even when we get to our little settlements and stuff, unless another country that hasn't been completely screwed up comes in and takes over, there's going to be fighting for a long time.
You know that like some of these humanitarian like international coalitions are going to try to step in and take over.
Mm-hmm.
American civilians have more guns than all armies in the world.
No, well, but they don't have like heavy weapons like tanks and helicopters. So.
Bullets is all they need. And with the tanks and helicopters, you don't think that there won't be no military coup or a lot of soldiers or a lot of military personnel going rogue?
Well,
personally, I'm thinking.
I'm quite imagining the Russians supplying the weapons. To be honest,
honestly, I'd say the biggest threat are drones because that's like basically highly mobile artillery.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The capability if full-fledged civil war happened today. Holy shit, the amount of bodies.
Well, a lot of them are going to be fat, so yeah.
Well, that's
true.
The thing, like,
I'm just saying the technology we had today. Because here's the thing: the Civil War was the most bloodiest battle ever for America. Imagine Civil War 2.0.
Oof.
With more advanced weapons.
Exactly. Yeah. Like we have the stealth bomber for peace sake.
Yeah, pistol today is probably more powerful than a musket back then was.
Well, rate of fire alone, yeah.
Yeah.
And accuracy.
No, but Gray touched up on a good point there, though, because they'll probably use the drones to subdue certain cities as well.
Well, that's the thing, like, not just cities, but anywhere that doesn't have adequate foliage cover that can be targeted somewhat reliably. Like, if you could be out in the middle of the country, if you've got an open air sort of compound, like, they can freaking drone strike you in your freaking backyard, in your house. Damn. Like, anywhere like you need to either be a place that has near constant cloud cover, and you will learn to fear the blue sky, or you need to be in the woods, and that's going to severely limit your options for farmland.
Or underground.
Yeah, that's even more difficult.
Mm.
Like you could hide out under there, but long-term sustainability, you don't know what days a drone is going to show up and what days it's not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm just
Shit.
saying that's why it's more important than ever to keep the peace. Because right now, the major powers have the capability of making us go extinct.
Indeed.
Well,
It's actually one man causing us to go extinct.
Literally, one man in power is literally pushing the world to World War III. I'm not saying he's the only one.
the child sniffing dude, you mean?
Yes.
Him,
The Biden
Zelensky, Putin, whoever it is, they know what dangers could be happening if we go on. And I don't respect that Zelensky dude one bit. Screw him. He
fuck that
led
guy.
his people to die.
Oh no, I
God.
respect him 10 times over than Zelensky. Fuck that guy, man.
He knew his
Yeah.
position, and he forced his civilians to stay and fight and die. Fuck that guy.
Dude, he was putting artillery on top of buildings, man, on purpose so that they would bomb civilians. He was instigating NATO to jump in.
It's insane, man. But hey, I definitely I'm gonna start shutting down right now. So, do any of you guys have anything to say about this topic?
You hear this?
I
There
hear
you
the
go.
chickens. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
but hey, thanks for joining,
Yeah.
Andrew.
yeah. I'll see you guys later, I suppose, and talk to you
Alright.
guys. Sorry
So-
about the chicken, though.
Be safe out there, brother.
That's fine.
We need
Okay.
to.
Ooh,
Puniti.
Puniti. And yeah, channel. That's what I meant. Male civilians. That's what I meant. What about you, Francesca? What do you have to say to the Warband when it comes to the topic or anything else?
Just make sure to dig for the truth. Make sure to stay hungry. Just like Steve Jobs used to say. And just keep following Sir Yeetus and Puniti.
Puniti.
Puniti on that
Puniti.
regard.
All right, Dex. I know you weren't able to talk much, so
It's all good. I wasn't even planning to, and honestly, I'm going to bed soon anyways. I got to work tomorrow.
okay. Anything to say to the Warband?
I love you guys, especially, I've been following mostly Chronic and Ribby, but like since I've discovered you recently as well, I've definitely given you a subscribe. I've been wanting to get in and have these discussions as well, because like I love the fact that there are people out there like you guys that are actually red pilled to this shit, because this shit's real. It's real.
It's real. Once you accept reality, things will come much clearer and easier.
Yes, sir. And believe me, I'm getting up there into my adult life, so I've grown a lot, and I'm still growing for that fucking matter.
Same here, man. The learning process never stops.
Indeed.
But thanks for joining, man, and peace out, Puniti.
Puniti.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Stop saying that crazy word on the stream, please. Jesus. I just had to put it out there. Stop saying that word. You guys know what I'm talking about. Just stop. Just stop.
We just got monetized, man.
Yeah, the first day already. That's why I said at the beginning of the stream. Susan has that bait. Like, I gotcha.
Yeah,
Man,
it'll be like fucking like 2 hours before a payday, and she's like, "Nope, ours now."
Yep, I'm taking all your money. But great, man. We're gonna end the stream here. Do you have anything to say?
Final thoughts, gentlemen. You are among the most likely to survive what is to come simply because you are getting somewhat prepared for it. Take the time to learn how to grow food. Make sure that you are looking after your fitness. Train in some form of combat. Equip yourself with some sort of projectile if at all possible, for both self-defense and hunting. And also, do not underestimate the value of a network. In the worst case scenario, you are going to need someone to keep watch while you sleep, someone you can trust. Don't try to take this shit alone. That's for the movies.
Exactly. Reality has a way different way of showing you what's going on, and it's not a good thing. But we got one more super chat. Once again, channel has been very generous today. 10 New Zealand dollars. Excellent stream. My brother Sir Yeet and Gray. Love all the boys, gents. This is a good place for us. We feel bonds here. And young, like when we were kids, yes. And to the point where this is one of the only spaces left in society, like channels on YouTube, where men are actually able to get together and discuss various topics that we will be at risk of having our reputations ruined or get attacked in the public. Would you agree, Gray?
Yeah, like if you're not going to get like publicly ostracized and people look at you as though you're crazy for even suggesting that shit is not going to just turn out fine after a couple minor changes have been made, then yeah, there are some people who will straight up resort to violence if you don't stay quiet.
I definitely agree. So, gentlemen, this is a very good first day of me being monetized. Okay. You guys have been way too generous with the donations. It is getting too easy to the point where you guys going to have even more content. Yeah, I could have brought the other overlay for my last stream back, but I really didn't feel like bringing it up. I was like, let me just go back to what I'm used to first. I'm going to bring back the other overlay tomorrow because this is what I've been doing for the majority of my streams. But you'll see the overlay back like I did yesterday. I just had to fix the music. Gray helped me out on that one. I was doing the double feed, so you guys can hear the music and I can hear the music, and it overlapped each other, and it sounded weird. But tomorrow it will definitely be a lot better. Thank you for joining, guys. Thank you very much for the super chats. And tomorrow we're going to do two topics. We definitely going to be talking about, because I understand the Captain America and Iron Man, the philosophies they were doing, but we will also talk about the Superman and Batman from Injustice. Okay. Not really about the character. It will be mainly about the philosophies and which one you guys agree who is right or wrong. And you guys got to actually make your stance, make your point. Don't just say that they're right or they're wrong. I want to hear an explanation. Do you want to hear an explanation, Gray?
I'm curious, especially since I'm not super familiar with these.
Yeah, like I'll explain the story, like a quick crash course, and then I'll explain the philosophies on both men, right? And we can implement this in real life. We the only difference is, no, we got no superpowers.
Well, and that's what really makes this worthwhile, is because by having these icons go through these various oppositions, where relatively equal in strength but opposite in nature, like we get these paragons of virtue conflicting, and thus we're able to really explore the depths of different kinds of good intentions and how they're don't always line up.
I definitely agree, man. I'm pretty hyped for tomorrow. Because once again, not all of my live streams need to be that serious. We're still going to learn a lot of things. Because, believe it or not, even comic book stories can be red pilling. So, this is Sir Yeetus. Hopefully you guys got all the gems you need today, because it was a great conversation. This was a great live stream. And definitely expect the part 2. We are out. Peace.
Peace out, Warband.